Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. This is Matchday Live, the final Matchday Live of 2022. It is, of course, Arsenal away at Brighton. Of course, if you didn't hear the result earlier, Manchester City only got a draw with Everton. A win tonight for Arsenal sends us 7 points clear at the top of the table going in to 2023. It's going to be a good one coming up the other side of this. Real Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That seals it. So I'd say the last watch-along of 2022. What a year it's been for Arsenal. The progress we've made this season in particular has been incredible, hasn't it? And tonight we've got the opportunity now to go 7 points clear at the top of the table after Manchester City were held to a 1-1 draw at the Etihad this afternoon against Everton. So this is how we line up for this game this evening. So just one change from the side that beat West Ham on Boxing Day. So it's Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Back four, Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, and it is Alexander Zinchenko comes in at left back in place of Kieran Tierney. In midfield, Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka, and captain Martin Odegaard. And then in the front three, the same again. Bukayo Saka on the right, Gabriel Martinelli on the left, and Eddie Nketiah through the centre. Of course, Eddie did score the third goal, didn't he, against West Ham on Boxing Day. So for Brighton, and this is how they line up. It's Robert Sanchez in goal for them. Tariq Lamptey comes in at right back. That's a change from Boxing Day. The rest of their defence is Captain Lewis Dunk, Levi Colwill, of course, on loan from Chelsea, and Pervis Estepanian. Then in midfield, Billy Gilmore comes in for his first start of the season for Brighton, alongside Pascal Gross and Adam Lallana. And in the front three for Brighton, it's Sonny March, it's Kuru Mitoma, and Leonardo Trossard. So that is how the two sides line up for this game today. The subs for Arsenal on the bench: Matt Turner, Kieran Tierney, Rob Holding, Cedric Suarez, Takahiro Tomiyasu is back on the bench, Sambi Lokonga, Mohamed El Neni, Manquillos, and Fabio Vieira. And for Brighton, it's Jason Steele, Jean-Paul Van Heck, Joel Veltman, Jeremy Saramento, Ivan Ferguson, Ed Turns, Andrew Moran, Julio Enciso, and Jacques Hinchelwood. A lot of young players from the Brighton Academy on their bench this evening. So that's how the teams line up then for this game. It's going to be a really big test for this Arsenal side, isn't it? We've got a poor record against Brighton, particularly here at the Amex. Only one victory in the Premier League. And only, in fact, one victory here since 1981. So it's a really poor. It's been a really poor ground for us over the years. But this is a different Arsenal side this season, isn't it? And of course, it's a different Brighton side as well, isn't it? And their new manager after Graham Potter, of course, left for Chelsea. They have lost a couple of home games recently, but I say they did win on Boxing Day away at Southampton. A good result for them in their local derby. Of course, we had a good result in our local derby as well, didn't we? Coming from behind to beat West Ham. But of course, the big news tonight is that Manchester City only managed to draw at home to Everton. They've been dropping a few points at the Etihad this season, haven't they? Whereas we keep winning at home. But this is an away game. We've dropped our only 5 points in the league away from home. That was a defeat at Manchester United and a draw, of course, at Southampton. So just down the road, of course, from here at Brighton. So we know this is a tough place for us to go. It always has been. For some reason, they've been like a bit of a bogey side for us, haven't they, over the years? And we've always tended to struggle to get a result here. But tonight, so important. The good news is we've got a little bit in hand the fact that Manchester City drew. Newcastle only drew as well, 0-0 at home to Leeds. So they've dropped a couple of points today as well. Even more advantage for us to win this game. But even if we only manage to draw, which wouldn't be a disaster, would it? It wouldn't be a bad result away at Brighton. At least we won't have lost any ground on the teams just around us. So it's all gone in our favour tonight. Let's not lose this game. That's the most important thing, isn't it? But if we play as we have been, there's no reason to suggest we can't get the right result. But for some reason, we just need to overcome that little, I don't know what you'd call it really, some sort of, it's an issue that we seem to have when we play Brighton, We did, of course, lose at home last season, didn't we? 2-1. They won at the Emirates. And, of course, this game last season, played in similar conditions to tonight in the pouring rain, did finish in a 0-0 draw. And a 0-0 draw tonight wouldn't be a disaster, would it, with what's happened earlier on today? But think what a massive lift it would be to win this game. 7 points at this point in the season would be a fantastic advantage to have, wouldn't it? But to do that, we have to win the game. It's no good saying, well, if it doesn't matter, we have to go out there tonight and we have to win this game now. And maybe we can play with a little bit more freedom. We don't need to be quite as tense because the teams around us have dropped points. So it's in our favour. We just need to go out and get the job done tonight. But it certainly won't be easy, will it? This Brighton side, they're a decent team. They've got a set way of playing, and it works for them, doesn't it? So, and we know, our record against them has been really, really poor. But the last time we did win here, in fact, the only time we've won here in the Premier League was in the little spell between Christmas and New Year back in 2020, of course, a season when we were struggling. But we did win this game 1-0, and it was a goal from Alexander Lacazette, of course, that particular occasion where there was no fans in, was there? Because we were still under the COVID lockdowns and all that kind of stuff. So can we win here with a crowd in? I say last season we only managed a 0-0 draw in the rain. This season again it's raining, but we're in a much better place now, aren't we, than we were when we came down to this fixture last season. The teams are now in the tunnel. Arsenal going to be in their black away strip tonight, and Brighton, of course, in their usual home kit is blue and white, sort of striped top with white shorts and white socks. Arsenal will be all in black, led out by captain Martin Ødegaard. He is our joint top scorer this season, isn't he, with 6 goals in the Premier League. Of course, still without Gabriel Jesus, going to be the case for a while. Another big night for Eddie Nketiah. He stepped up, didn't he, against West Ham on Boxing Day, got himself that goal at the end to seal the victory. And that was 11 in 11 starts for him at the Emirates. This is an away game. Let's see, different sort of pressures. But he scored a few away goals last season, didn't he? Got 2 at Chelsea in that big win for us towards the end of last season. So let's hope that he can find the net tonight. But the way that we play at the moment, the way that we set up under Arteta, it seems to be the goals spread around the team, don't they? The midfielder scoring now. I say Ødegaard's joint top scorer. Xhaka's got 4 goals. Even Partey's got 2 goals already. So it just goes to show that the different emphasis now. And of course, Saka is our top scorer in the year of 2022. 12 goals for him in this calendar year. Can he get one more to finish the year? We'll have to see. And of course, Martinelli's in great form as well, isn't he, this season? So, we've got goals in this team. The concern still, as we know, is the lack of depth, isn't it? Look at who's on the bench. We haven't got a striker on the bench. It just goes to show how desperate we are to sign somebody in the January window. We've got attacking players, Manquillos, of course, Fabio Vieira. Other than that, the bench is full of defenders and defensive midfield players, isn't it? So that's an issue. The club have to solve that issue in January, I think. And let's hope that we do, because it'd be a lot to ask of Eddie, wouldn't it, to be our only striker, only first team striker for 2 or 3 months after the new year. So that would be a big ask for him, wouldn't it? And I think maybe it's going to be too much for him and too much for us as a team. So we definitely need to strengthen in that area, don't we, in January? Plus, I'd like to see a little bit more strength added to certain other areas as well, midfield, maybe one defensive signing as well. But we can't do miracles in January, can we? We can only buy what we can buy, and let's hope that we get the players over the line that we need. But yeah, a striker, I think, has got to be number 1 priority for us when you look at the squad that we've got at the moment. So anyway, a player that we were once interested in, Tariq Lamptey, of course, of Brighton, the right back for them. Very, very good player. He's played 3 times against Arsenal, got 3 victories. So it just goes to show their record against us, really, doesn't it? He's a very good player. We'll have to watch for him. Mark's in the chat. He says, it's New Year's morning here in New Zealand. Good evening to you. Well, Happy New Year, Mark. You're obviously a bit ahead of us, of course. We're still on New Year's Eve, late afternoon. So it won't be New Year here for a few hours yet. But let's hope that Arsenal end the year in the UK in great form, and 7 points clear at the top. That would be something, wouldn't it? Anyway, I hope you're doing well over there in New Zealand in 2023 already. So that's good, isn't it? Let's hope that it's going to be a good year for us all, and we can enjoy Arsenal having a great 2023. Now, of course, as has been the case across all matches this over this period of time, there is going to be a minute's applause, of course, for Pele. Probably the greatest ever player to play football, of course, as we know, unfortunately did die this week. Of course, Martinelli, Gabriel, of course, our Brazilians in our team will be particularly, that would have struck them particularly hard, wouldn't it? I mean, he's an absolute legend throughout the world, was Pele, but particularly in Brazil. So we're going to have this sort of moment's applause for just to celebrate the life of what will always probably be the greatest ever footballer to play football, Pele, of course. I say, who did die earlier this week. So there we go. Good to see Edu as well there in the stand. Another Brazilian, of course. Let's hope that Martinelli can be inspired by Pele and produce a Pele-like performance for Arsenal here tonight. Wet and windy South Coast Amex Stadium, where we haven't done particularly well, as we said, over the years. Terry's in the chat there. Terry says, good evening, Richard. Hope you and Mrs. B had a great Christmas, hopefully a great New Year. Come on, you Gunners, and Happy New Year to all in the chat. Yeah, and yourself, mate. I hope you've had a great Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family as well. We had a good Christmas. We had family over. We had a good time. It's nice. Time off work, a bit of relaxation and stuff like that. So it's good. Tonight's the final thing, really, isn't it? And we can start getting ourselves back to normal again in January, going back to work and all that kind of stuff later in the week. So, let's hope it's going to be. Let's hope Arsenal finish 2022 in the right manner, really, because let's face it, over recent months, we've certainly deserved to be where we are in the table, and let's hope we can do it again. Tonight. There just seems to be some sort of issue again with the referee, or is it that the fourth official sort of with his communication? Of course, we had that big issue at Leeds, didn't we, where the communication broke down and the game got delayed. But we are just about to kick off here. The referee is Anthony Taylor, and we are going to kick off Arsenal in the All Black strip, attacking a goal to our left in this first half. We're off and underway. The ball goes back to Aaron Ramsdale, and he goes long up that far side. Typical start to the game from Arsenal when we kick off. The Arsenal fans are behind the goal to our right in this first half. So not the end Arsenal are defending. William Saliba there plays the ball to Zinchenko. Good to see him back in the starting lineup. He's had a good start to his Arsenal career, hasn't he? Alexander Zinchenko, minus the injuries, of course. Other than that, though, he's certainly made a big impact. And he's one of the reasons why we are in the position that we're in. He's been one of the big reasons as well, hasn't he? And we've also got a throw over on that far side, which Ben White throws it in to midfield to Martin Odegaard. Had a great game on Boxing Day against West Ham. That's his first touch today. And Brighton do manage to get the ball clear up that far side, but it's falling again to Martin Odegaard, running at that Brighton defence. Odegaard, he's got Granit Xhaka inside. It's a great run from Odegaard. He's going to go all the way. Oh, he tried to slip it into Granit Xhaka, but it was well defended by Brighton, who can now come forward, but not for very long. Good tackle from Thomas Partey. Now Martinelli on the edge of the penalty. Martinelli tries a shot of his right foot. It's deflected. Falls to Eddie Nketiah. He's put it in. No, it's Saka over on the far side. Inside the first minute, Arsenal have taken the lead. What a start from Arsenal. It's Bukayo Saka. It was a shot came in from Martinelli. It was deflected. It fell kindly to Saka at the far post. He stuck it away in the corner of the net. And already, wow, an early goal. Looked as though Brighton had dealt with the danger. Thomas Partey won the ball back. It came to Martinelli on his left-hand side. His shot was blocked, headed only half cleared, and Saka was there to tuck it away, and it is. And that is Bukayo Saka's 13th goal of 2022. He's our top scorer in the year, and he's now our top scorer for this season as well. Lovely, cool finish it was from Saka. Terry says, get in there, Saka. Indeed, get in there, Saka. What a start. It didn't take long, did it? Last year, we drew 0-0 here. We couldn't score, could we? Well, it's not taken us very long today. Goal inside at the first minute. Brighton haven't barely touched the ball, but they will touch the ball now because they're taking the restart from the centre spot. It is Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. Wow, what a start. At this moment in time, we sit 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Although, of course, there is still a long way to go in this game. But what a start that was. Generally, when we start well, we do tend to, go on and dominate games, don't we? That should be the case now. But, this has been it's been a traditionally difficult ground, and we need to make the most of this great start that we've had. It was Bukayo Saka with the goal. Brilliant from him. He's been in great form, hasn't he? Had a great World Cup, and he's hit the ground running. 2 goals in 2 games since the restart for Arsenal. Brighton have conceded a free kick there, which they don't look particularly happy about. But anyway, it was a free kick in midfield. They were looking to break forward. Roberto De Zerbi, not very happy with that particular decision. He's done pretty well, hasn't he, since he's taken over at Brighton? It's a tough job. Obviously, Graham Potter did so well at the club, so it was definitely a tough job to come into. But he's done pretty well, hasn't he? He's got them playing a good style of football, but they're up against it now as Arsenal come forward again. Zinchenko plays Martin Odegaard, finds Eddie Nketiah. Now it's with Martinelli. Eddie Nketiah down this near side for Arsenal. Nketiah cuts back, plays the ball back to Martinelli on the edge of the box. Can Arsenal get a second goal? Oh, brilliant turn in the box from Zinchenko. Oh, good save from Sanchez. Almost 2-0. What a turn that was then from Zinchenko. Yet to score for Arsenal, of course, the Ukrainian. Lovely ball from Martinelli. Turned away from 2 defenders. Left foot shot there. The goalkeeper was out quickly, Robert Sanchez. And that's a good save from the Brighton goalkeeper there. But maybe it could have been 2-0. Maybe it should have been. Phil says there, the perfect start. Indeed, it has been the perfect start. And we've got a corner now on this near side, which Gabriel Martinelli is going to take. Referee Anthony Taylor. Just speaking there to Thomas Partey, who's in a little bit of a tussle there with Tariq Lamptey, who's a lot smaller than him, isn't he? But anyway, Tariq Lamptey doing his best. But Arsenal taking his corner quickly. Martinelli now on the edge of the box. Can he get a shot? And he does. It hits the Brighton defender there, and they do manage to clear it away finally to Leandro Trossard on this near side. But again, Arsenal won the ball back high up the pitch. This has been a great start from Arsenal. Brighton haven't even crossed the halfway line yet. We've played 4.5 minutes. I mean, the ball is in the Arsenal half now, but it was played back by Martinelli to Granit Xhaka, goes square to William Saliba. He plays it in to Martin Odegaard, turns and then plays it back to Gabriel, and then it goes back to Aaron Ramsdale with only his second involvement. His first involvement was to clear the ball away from the centre when we took kickoff. That's a long ball forward there. Lewis Dunk just sees it back to goalkeeper Sanchez. Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. We've played just over 5 minutes here at the Amex down on the south coast. Wet and windy night for New Year's Eve, and it's going to be a great way to finish the year for Arsenal if we carry on in the way that we've started this game. We've won the ball back again high up the pitch with Thomas Partey. It was his tackle that actually led to the counter-attack for the goal. But Brighton now in midfield looking to come forward really pretty much for the first time over on that far side. That's a ball played through looking for Mitoma. Mitoma, though, couldn't get there, and William Saliba, it was Ben White, shuffles it back to Aaron Ramsdale. Of course, Brighton did beat us, didn't they, in the Carabao Cup just before the break, didn't they, at the Emirates? They won that game 3-1. Of course, it was a much changed Arsenal side on that particular evening, but Arsenal coming forward again now. Martin Odegaard in possession, plays it to this near side to Martinelli again. Is it going to be 2-0? Martinelli with a shot again. It's well blocked by the Brighton defender. I think it was Espanian with the block there, and now Brighton can look to try and come forward themselves over on at that far side. Every time we get the ball in midfield, we look as though we can carve this Brighton defence open. But that was good defending, actually. In fact, it was Tariq Lamptey, Lamptey now back in possession again on halfway on this near side. Plays it back to Levi Colwill, of course, on loan from Chelsea. He'll be wanting to do his parent club a favour tonight, won't he? But so far, it's not quite gone that way for him, has it? Lewis Dunk there plays it back to goalkeeper Robert Sanchez, and he goes long in towards the Arsenal half looking for Mitoma. Good defending by Ben White. The ball breaks there to William Saliba, lays it off to Thomas Partey inside the centre circle, finds Granit Xhaka. Now it's with Martinelli on his near side, running at Tariq Lamptey again. Martinelli just cuts back, puts the edge of the box. Lovely layoff by Xhaka. Shot on the turn from Eddie Nketiah, but it goes wide of that far post. Another good attack though from Arsenal. Martinelli on his near side played it in to Xhaka. Nice first time ball in to Eddie Nketiah. Tried to shoot on the turn from about 16 yards. Just pulled it wide of that far post. But again, a good counter-attack from Arsenal. Very, very fluid. We are looking at this moment in time in this game. 7 minutes played. Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. That very, very early goal from Bukayo Saka. His 7th goal of the season, and I say his 13th in the calendar year of 2022. He is our top scorer this year. Quite a way ahead, actually, of anybody else. Shows what an important player he is. Anyway, we've got some defending to do here. Gabriel just plays it back to Ramsdale inside the Arsenal penalty area. Plays it out to Thomas Partey. Gets it back again. The Arsenal goalkeeper, Ramsdale, takes his time and then plays it up this near side looking for Zinchenko. That's a good ball. Nicely taken by Zinchenko. But Arsenal playing themselves into a little bit of trouble here, actually. But Xhaka hooks it clear. And then Eddie Nketiah flicks it on. But Lewis Dunk's here. Plays it back to his goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. 8 minutes played. Arsenal are 1-0 up. That very, very early goal. First attack led to the goal. And since then, we've looked completely in control. Brighton have been struggling to really settle down. But they're in possession now in midfield, looking to maybe get themselves back into this game. That's a long ball up that far side. Looking for the run there of Sonny Martin, actually of Leandro Trossard. Good defending, though, from Saliba. He's hooked it out. He's going to be a throw to Brighton over on that far side. Brighton yet to really threaten in this game. Trossard, of course, been in great form. He's their top scorer this season. Leandro Trossard, the Belgium, very, very good player. And he did score, didn't he, at the Emirates earlier on this year. In that game that Brighton did win by 2-1. But to do that tonight, they are going to have to come from behind. And Arsenal at this moment in time looking in complete control of this game here on the South Coast. Lewis Dunk, though, in possession for Brighton, plays it square to Colwill, plays it in to midfield to Pascal Gross, and he just lays it back off to Lewis Dunk. Brighton just want to maybe slow the pace of the game down, try and get a foot on the ball and try to get themselves back into this game somehow. They're on the ball on his near side. Sonny March swings it over to that far side, but Bukayo Saka's there, actually. It's a bit of a battle going on there with Esprien, and it has gone out now for a throw to Brighton over on that far side. Stooping, and it was there the fullback for Brighton in the side tonight, the Ecuadorian. Now the ball there is in the centre circle with Lewis Dunk, plays it up this near side for Tariq Lamptey. He's got support with Sonny March. Sonny March cuts inside. Zinchenko plays the ball back into midfield to Billy Gilmore. They're missing Siedo, of course. Moses Siedo tonight. Brighton suspended. Player that's apparently on Arsenal's radar. He would be a bad player to sign, would he? But it's definitely a forward player that we do need as a priority this January, don't we? There's no doubt about that. If we are going to maintain this, what has become a title challenge, there's no doubt. We are in a race for the title for the first time in a number of years. Anyway, Brighton are coming forward now, looking to try to put a dent in that. They've got the ball out to that far side. It's a good ball. Mitoma keeps it in. Of course, Mitoma did score at the Emirates, didn't he, in the cup game just before the World Cup break. Brighton won that game 3-1. And they'll be looking to repeat that again, but they come from behind to do so. Brighton are in possession, though. Sonny March on his near side, closed down by Martinelli, so he goes back again to captain Lewis Dunk. He plays it square to Levi Colwill, and he plays it through the midfield. It's back over on that far side with Esprin and plays it into midfield. Brighton just settling down now. This is the longest spell of possession that they've had, actually. Pascal Gross plays it to this near side to Lamptey, just lays the ball off there into Billy Gilmore, former Chelsea player, of course, Billy Gilmore. That's over on that far side with the Japanese international Mitoma. He had a good World Cup, didn't he? But anyway, Arsenal pinched the ball back again. And we can come forward now. Eddie Nketiah through the middle. Oh, that's a good defensive challenge there, actually, from Lewis Dunk. And it is now going to be a free kick to Brighton. Great defensive play there from the Brighton captain to deny Eddie Nketiah there. He was just inside the centre circle, a long way from goal. But had Eddie gotten the ball past Dunk there, it would have been an interesting counter-attack from Arsenal. But unfortunately, it was a good tackle that was from Dunk. A player that, of course, Arsenal, there's been interest in the past, hasn't there? From Brighton, of course. We have got a player from Brighton coming in our team, haven't we? Ben White, of course, our right back. We did buy him for £50 million from Brighton last summer. Although he had, of course, been on loan to Leeds before that, hadn't he, in the Championship a couple of years before that. So he, of course, knows this ground well. Ben White knows his team very well. Well, they won't know this manager, of course, because Graham Potter has now left. Now, Brighton looking to take a throw quickly up this near side. Or William Saliba, there's caught out a little bit there. Brighton now in possession with Solly March on the edge of the penalty. Solly March's shot. Good defending from Gabriel. A little bit sloppy, though, that was from William Saliba. He was in, looked as though he was ahead of Solly March. And the ball just ran away from him there. Allowed the Brighton man to get the ball and get a shot in from the edge of the box. But it was good defending from Gabriel. We just need to be careful we don't get too sloppy in this game, because Brighton have got the quality players to punish us. And they almost did there. A little bit, I'd say, not great defending that was from William Saliba. But Gabriel was on the cover. That's what you want your other centre-half to do, don't you? And that's exactly what he did. Great play that was from him. Anyway, Brighton in possession now. Colwell plays it in to midfield. It's now laid off to Lewis Dunk. Plays the ball forward. Sonny March then tried to lay it off into the path of Tariq Lamptey, but good defending from Zinchenko. He's going to be a throw though to Brighton on this near side. We've played 13 and a half minutes. Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. A very, very early goal from Bukayo Saka. 1-0 to the Arsenal, of course, as it stands. But still a very long way to go, of course, in this game. What has been, I say, a traditionally difficult ground for us in the Premier League. Just that one victory here 2 years ago. That was a goal from Alexander Lacazette at the same end of the ground, actually. But that was, of course, in the COVID season. There was no fans in on that particular occasion. But there is tonight. And they've seen a great goal. We've got a comment in there from Ringer Dinger, says, "Hi, Happy New Year, everyone." And the same to you. Happy New Year. Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Good to have you on board. And I say Happy New Year to you as well. And it will be a Happy New Year for Arsenal if it stays like this, won't it? It will be 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League going in to 2023. Wow, who would have predicted that 12 months ago when we were in fourth place battling to try to get into that top four, wasn't we, a year ago? Who would have predicted that we'll be going into the new year now, potentially 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League? Incredible. We're not quite there yet. We've still got a long way to go in this game, 75 minutes still to play, but we've certainly started in a positive manner, and we've got an early goal, which is great. And Brighton now coming forward themselves, or trying to, but they're still inside their own half. Billy Gilmore lays the ball off to Tariq Lamptey, goes back to Lewis Dunk, gets it back again, Lamptey. A little bit of space now on his near side for the Ghanaian. Good running forward from him. We know how quick he is and tricky. Solly March plays it back on to Tariq Lamptey. He's got a little bit of space for the cross, pulls it back to Wolves, the penalty spot. Brighton, a shot comes in. Oh, it's beaten Ramsdale as it deflected from Trossard. It's gone just wide. That's the best Brighton have produced so far this evening. A lovely move actually down this right-hand side. Tariq Lamptey pulled the ball back. It fell to Trossard. His shot there was deflected. Oh, it seemed to caught Aaron Ramsdale out a little bit there, the deflection. It was turning away from the goal. I think Ramsdale may well have got a touch to it as well. It was going wide anyway. But it's going to be a corner to Brighton over on that far side. Their first corner of the game. Their first real attack, actually. Attacking that goal where the Arsenal fans are gathered behind Aaron Ramsdale's goal there. Can Arsenal defend this corner? We've played 16 minutes nearly here. Going towards the near post. Eddie Nketiah was there actually with the defensive header. Done well. In fact, the referee wasn't happy with that. I think we're going to have to take that. They're going to have to take that corner again. I'm not quite sure what the problem was. But Brighton are going to get to retake this corner. It was a good defensive header at the near post actually from Eddie Nketiah. But Anthony Taylor wasn't very happy with something. And he's just having a word there with Adam Lallana inside the 6-yard box. Not sure what that was all about. Anyway, the corner's going to be retaken again over on that far side. It's in low this time towards the near post, and Eddie Nketiah this time deflects it behind. It was Pascal Gross with the corner. That wasn't as good as well, actually. It seemed to it was played in low towards the near post, and Eddie kind of miskicked it a bit. It's gone behind for another corner, so Gross is going to try again for the third time. Can Arsenal get this ball away? Let's have a look. It's going to be Gross again. There's a bit of pushing and shoving inside at the 6-yard box. Sonny March has gone down there, and Martin Odegaard was involved. The referee now wants to speak to the pair of them. A little bit silly going on. I'm not quite sure what happened. Sonny Marsh ended up going down to the ground, actually. So we'll see. Ring a ding in the chat that says, what a result for Everton. Just need Brighton draw or Brighton win today. No, we don't want either of those two. We want Arsenal to win, don't we? but anyway, this corner comes in again from Gross. That's a better one. It beats everyone, actually. Headed off the line, was it, by Saliba? Ramsdale didn't get there. Curled in on that wind. We have conceded a goal directly from a corner this season, haven't we? Against, who was it against? Aston Villa, wasn't it? Of course, it was Douglas Luiz, and we almost conceded from a corner there as well. Ramsdale didn't get anywhere near that, and it was William Saliba behind him who headed it out. Anyway, it's a throw to Brighton on this near side, in line with the Arsenal penalty area. Tarek Lamptey with it, throws it into the penalty area. It's headed away by William Saliba, not very far actually. Brighton pick it up again with Billy Gilmore, goes back again to Colwill. And now he plays it square to Lewis Dunk, gets it back again. Colwill inside at the centre circle, but Arsenal managed to force Brighton back into their own half, but they are still in possession inside at the centre circle. Coming forward again, there's a little bit of space over on that far side. In fact, the pass was deflected by Saka, and Arsenal picked the ball up again. And now Ben White strides forward, plays up that far side, looking for Saka. Can he keep this in? I think he's going to keep it in. He does. Bukayo Saka now on that far side, the Arsenal goal scorer. There's 3 or 4 players in the box. Saka tries to play it across the 6-yard box, cleared away by Colville. And Matuma now can bring the ball clear. Ringer Dinger says, I support United. Oh, okay, no, fair enough. It was a good result for you guys today. Winning away at Wolves, never an easy place to go. You're in the top 4 now, aren't you? So no wonder you want a result for Brighton. He says our subbed as well. No, thank you very much. Good to have you on board with us. Yeah, I'm sure you would want Brighton to win, I'm sure. But I mean, let's be honest, I think that at this moment in time, I think Man United and Arsenal's ambitions are slightly different. For Man United, it's a matter of battling to get in the top 4, isn't it? And I do feel as though our ambition should be more now, in the position that we're in. Our ambition should be to certainly challenge for the title, if not go all the way. So, I'm sure looking at the way the top 4 is shaping up, it's going to be quite interesting, isn't it? Because, Newcastle are doing really well, as we know. I say you guys seem to be getting your act together now, don't you? I think the Ten Hag seems to have been stamping his mark on it, isn't it? Anyway, Arsenal coming forward again now. Martinelli just inside the Brighton penalty on this near side. Martinelli plays it back to Granit Xhaka. Thought about a shot, thought better of it though. Instead finds that Zinchenko plays it into the box. Martin Odegaard looking to twist and turn, trying to find an angle for a shot. He can't. Zinchenko now finds Martinelli. Martinelli just coming towards the corner of the Brighton penalty area. On this near side, can he get across and plays it into Odegaard? Odegaard gets it back to Martinelli, pulls it back. Oh, almost fell to Eddie Nketiah. Great play that was from Arsenal inside the box. But in the end, Brighton do manage to scramble that clear. Almost a second goal. What a second goal that would have been as well. But now Brighton looking to come forward over on that far side. But that's good defending from Thomas Partey. Plays it back to Aaron Ramsdale. Ringer Dinger says there it's Sir Alex Ferguson's birthday today. Yeah, indeed it is, yes. Happy birthday to Sir Alex, of course. What a great manager he was. Some great battles we had, of course, with him, didn't we, over the years? And good to see him obviously healthy following his health scare a few years ago. And Martinelli now for Arsenal gets the ball onto his right foot, can't quite get a shot away. Good defending in front of him there by Tarek Lamptey. Those two have had quite a battle so far. Gabriel now in possession for Arsenal, finds it Zinchenko on this near side. The Ukrainian back in the starting lineup today, exchanges passes with Martinelli, gets it back. Zinchenko plays it back to Gabriel. Switches it onto his left foot, finds Granit Xhaka, then gets it back again. Arsenal just staying patient there. But there was an opportunity there. It seemed as though it was going to be an opportunity for Martinelli, but good defending it was from Tarek Lamptey. Just shut that door so he couldn't get that shot away. And in the end, Brighton do manage to clear over. But just before that, it was a good break from Arsenal. Martinelli was involved in that again. Almost got the ball back to the run of Eddie Nketiah inside the 6-yard box, but Nketiah couldn't quite get there. And in the end, it was Brighton that cleared it away. It was Colville, actually, that did well inside his own 6-yard box there as Martinelli just looked to knock the ball back towards Eddie Nketiah just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Good defending, though, from Brighton, and they managed to clear it away. Almost 2-0. We're midway through this first half. Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. It's been a very, very good 21 and a half minutes for Arsenal in this first half at the Amex Stadium here in Brighton. It's actually in Falmouth, isn't it? But anyway, it's not far from Brighton. I remember years ago now, I used to do a lot of work down in the Brighton area and the land where the ground is now. There was talk of building a stadium back then. That would have been probably 25 years ago. It took a little bit longer, but they got there in the end, and it's a very nice stadium. And of course, it was a stadium where the England Lionesses beat Norway 8-0, didn't they, in the summer? Maybe Arsenal will be looking for a similar result tonight. But anyway, Brighton do end that attack, and they're trying to come forward now. Adam Lallana loses out, though. Thomas Partey. There's a lot of space over on the far side for Bukayo Saka. It's going to be 2-0. Try to play it across to Nketiah. Good defending from Lewis Dunk, who seemed a little bit surprised that the offside flag didn't go. I don't think he was offside, Saka. Again, it was good play. Zinchenko and Partey actually was offside. We look at the replay. It was actually a long way offside. It wasn't given as offside. I'm sure if we'd scored, VAR would have disallowed that goal anyway. But we have got a corner. Despite the fact he was offside, of course, that's not what VAR can do. Only if we'd scored, it would have been disallowed. But they can't change the decision now. It is a corner to Arsenal over on the far side, which Bukayo Saka himself is going to take a lot of movement inside that 6-yard box on the near post. William Saliba's involved. Thomas Partey's in there as well. Granit Xhaka and goalkeeper Robert Sanchez is trying to just get a little bit of room for himself there so he can come and maybe claim this ball. It looks like he's going to come into the near post from Bukayo Saka. It does indeed. It's a good ball. It's sort of half cleared away then by Sanchez. The second punch is good. Thomas Partey. Oh, it's just gone wide. Deflected, actually, it was. Brighton didn't deal with that particularly well, actually. Twice, Robert Sanchez didn't get a good connection on the ball. First time, it was actually Cole, and then the second time, he did get a punch, but didn't go very far. Thomas Partey's shot just curled wide. It's given us a corner. I'm not sure if it actually got a deflection when we look at the replay. But obviously, we'll take it. I think it may have just got a nick on its way through. And again, Arsenal crowding around Robert Sanchez, who did struggle there. It's going to be Martinelli with this corner. Again, looks like it's going to be played in towards the near post. If actually it goes to the far post, Sanchez does well, though. Just gets a fingertip to it. And Mitoma now can try and come forward for Brighton, who have been under a lot of pressure in this first half. That's a good ball, though, actually, to Trossard, and plays up that far side. Brighton have done this quite well, actually. But that switch there isn't very good. In fact, it is. It works out quite well. Looked like Martinelli was going to get it. Instead, comes to Solly March, plays it up the line. Solly March now just inside the Brighton, inside the Arsenal penalty, plays it across the box. Oh, there was nobody there for Brighton. Arsenal just managed to clear it away, not particularly convincingly, actually. It's back in the box again. The shot comes in from Trossard. It's tipped over the bar from Ramsdale. Chaotic defending there from Arsenal, actually. It looked like we had 2 chances to get the ball away. It was good play from Solly March. Pulled it back towards the edge of the 6-yard box. A bit of a rush clearance, actually, from, was that Ben White? And then, actually, it was William Saliba. He's had a bit of a shaky start to this game. I mean, that shot came in there from Trossard. It was on target. A comfortable save, though, from Aaron Ramsdale. It's going to be a corner again to Brighton. They've started to pose us 1 or 2 more problems in the last 10 minutes or so. It's going to be Solly March with this corner on the near side, the right for Brighton. So it's going to be an in-swinger with his left foot. It is a corner towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed out there. I think it was by Ben White. And Brighton, though, pick up possession again. It's with Tariq Lamptey midway inside the Arsenal half, very central. Plays it to this near side. Finds Sonny March again, who's still over on that side from having taken that corner. But the ball now does go all the way back to goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. But that's a rare opportunity there for Brighton. But they are starting to ask us 1 or 2 more questions now over the last 10 minutes than they were obviously earlier on in this game. Anyway, Brighton now in possession of the ball up that far side, played in field, and suddenly Brighton are now looking a little bit more dangerous. In fact, the referee has got his arm up there for a free kick. Not quite sure. Was it an offside? Potentially. Anyway, Arsenal got a free kick over on that far side, and that ends that particular attack from Brighton. But Arsenal still largely in control of this game. We have to say Brighton have certainly posed us 1 or 2 problems in the last few minutes. Anyway, Thomas Partey with his free kick goes long up that far side, looking for Eddie Nketiah. It's a good defensive header actually from Brighton. And now it's back with Lewis Dunk, and he doesn't really get hold of the clearance as he would have liked up this near side. But it's well taken on his chest by Sonny March. But Zinchenko's in, winning the ball back. And Brighton keeping possession, actually. In fact, they've won a free kick, have they? Gabriel, it was with the foul. And it was on Adam Lallana. Did score, of course, against Southampton on Boxing Day, didn't he? His former club, of course. Adam Lallana, former England international. You know, Brighton take that free kick quickly, but it's Gabriel across well. And then Zinchenko completes the clearance to Granit Xhaka, and now in to Thomas Partey. It's in midfield where Arsenal have been dominant in this first half. You have to say, Saka there was he pushed over or did he fall over there under a challenge? But anyway, he was off the ball. Arsenal still in possession. Martin Odegaard plays the ball in to the centre circle. Eddie Nketiah comes to get it. He's done well there, Eddie. That's the ball played through into Granit Xhaka. Plays up this near side again to Gabriel Martinelli. Plays it back to Granit Xhaka. Martinelli gets it back again. Again, he's faced with Tariq Lamptey. Can he get the better of the Ghanaian? He can, but actually Tariq Lamptey's done really well there. Good defending actually from the Brighton player, and in fact he's won a free kick. A little bit too over-enthusiastic there was Martinelli, but good defensive play by Tariq Lamptey. Certainly, Martinelli certainly caused him one or two problems in this game so far, but Tariq Lamptey stuck to the task and he did really well there. He's still a player that I would still like at Arsenal. I think he's a very, very good player. He's fast, he's strong, he can defend well, and he's great at going forward, isn't he? Although we seem to have a lot of right backs at the moment, so that's not our priority position, is it? Anyway, Brighton are now coming forward in midfield with Billy Gilmore, plays out to that far side to Estupinan. Now it's with Mitoma, plays it square again to Billy Gilmore for Brighton, plays it to the edge of the area. Almost tried to get a 1-2 there off Trossard. In fact, he's got the ball again. The cross comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Comfortable catch, though, from Aaron Ramsdale. And he's now going to kick the ball long up that far side, looking for Eddie Nketiah, who's actually done well, as he know he has. He's conceded a free kick. Looks a little bit bemused by that decision, does Eddie, but I think it probably was the right decision, if we're totally honest. It was a long ball played out there. He did kind of run into Lewis Dunk a little bit. It's a little bit soft, but we would be a little bit annoyed if it wasn't given in our favour at the other end, wouldn't we? Anyway, Brighton have taken that free kick quickly. It's back with Colwell again. Levi Colwell, of course, the Chelsea loanee. The ball's now back with goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. We've played 29 minutes. It's been a decent 29 minutes for Arsenal, although Brighton have got into the game a bit more. But anyway, now Martin Odegaard finds Saka, pulls it back to the edge of the box. Martinelli's coming in. Oh, great tackle again from Tariq Lamptey, you have to say. Tracked Martinelli well there, and he had to, or Martinelli would have had a shot at goal from about 12 yards. Anyway, Brighton are looking to come forward themselves, but that wasn't a great ball, actually. Not much Tariq Lamptey could do at that time, and it was nice and cleared up there by Gabriel, who's got the ball back again. Gabriel goes back to goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, coming down towards the last 15 minutes of the first half. It's been a very, very good first half from Arsenal so far. But that ball's gone out of play over on the far side. It's a throw to Brighton as we look to keep this lead before certainly going into half time. Maybe even increase it. We've had a couple of opportunities, haven't we, to get that second goal, but we haven't quite managed to yet. And we know how dangerous a 1-0 lead can be, a 1-goal lead can be. We saw what happened to Manchester City, of course, just this afternoon when they were 1-0 up, looking pretty comfortable, wasn't they, against Manchester City, but against Everton, sorry, but they got pulled back in the second half, and sometimes that can happen. So it's so important, isn't it? When you're on top, get the second goal, kill the game off, and then the job's done. And I say Brighton have had one or two little opportunities, haven't they? Just a couple of little anxious moments that we've had. And they've certainly shown enough in this first half to suggest that they can get back into the game. And they're coming forward again now. It's a good tackle in midfield, actually, from Billy Gilmore's on the ball again. He's played well, actually, for Brighton, Billy Gilmore. Anyway, the ball's now on this near side. Sonny Marsh plays it back to Gilmore again. And he goes square to Colwell, plays it forward to Pascal Gross up that far side. This is a good play again from Brighton, but that wasn't a great ball. Ben White will cut that off, plays it back to Ramsdale. Wasn't the best ball, actually. Ramsdale panics a little bit there, and it's a panicked clearance, which Colwell will collect for Brighton, and then plays it square to Lewis Dunk inside at the centre circle. Arsenal just looking a little bit anxious at the back, actually, one or two occasions when Brighton have put the ball into the box. We haven't really looked that comfortable, we have to say, but so far so good. We've managed to repel any danger, but Brighton are coming forward again. Lewis Dunk in possession finds Sonny March on his near side. He's had a good start to this game, Sonny March. It's a good first half. Tariq Lamptey playing well for Brighton as well. Lewis Dunk now plays it square to Colville. 32 minutes coming up now here at Brighton. Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. This is good play though from Brighton over on that far side. Really good play. Can they get across into the near post? They do, but William Saliba's there and puts it out for a throw to Brighton. It was Estupinian there getting forward over on that far side for Brighton, but good defending actually from Arsenal. In the end, it was a cross came in and William Saliba put it out. In fact, Belmont was slightly late there on the fullback there, the Ecuadorian. Not sure if the referee's given a free kick for that or whether he's just given the throw. In fact, it is just the throw over on that far side. Brighton, though, in possession again. Lewis Dunk just inside the centre circle brings a ball forward for Brighton. We're into the last, 12, 13 minutes of this first half. It's been a good first half from Arsenal. Fantastic start. A goal inside at the first minute from Bukayo Saka. But since then, I wouldn't say we've struggled, but we've lost the element of control that we had very early in this game. And Brighton have certainly got back into it. But Arsenal have now won a throw up this near side, which Alexander Zinchenko is going to take. A second goal now would be fantastic, wouldn't it? That would really put us in a great position, wouldn't it? Before half-time, Martinelli knows just overrun that a little bit. Billy Gilmore steps in. In fact, a long ball forward. Is there an offside? There is an offside against Leandro Trossard, who fires a shot in anyway. Goes high over the crossbar, but it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. He's showing the goal again. It was Tarek Lamptey tried to bring the ball out of defence. He was tackled by Thomas Partey. Zinchenko played it to Martinelli. His shot took a double deflection actually, fell to Saka at the far post, confidently just put it in a corner. And that so far is the only goal of the game. And Arsenal got a great start, but I say we haven't managed to build on that as yet. And I'm not necessarily worried at this point in time, but we know how fragile one goal lead can be. But yeah, we're into the last 11 minutes now of this first half. Aaron Ramsdale with that free kick goes deep into the Brighton half. Good play there from Eddie Nketiah, who's played well actually in this game, you have to say. But it is going to be a throw to Brighton on this near side, which Tarek Lamptey is going to take the Brighton right back, plays it square to the line, gets it back, and then goes all the way back to Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk, a long ball actually into midfield. Brighton now looking to come forward. Mitsuma's made a run over on that far side. He's got the ball now, the Japanese. But good defending from Ben White. It is now going to be a throw to Brighton, which they've taken quickly. Pascal Gross just lays the ball off to Colwill, fires at Lewis Dunk. Lamptey's got a little bit of space on this near side. Gets the ball and finds Sonny March. Those two have linked up quite well at times in this first half for Brighton. But so far, Arsenal have looked in control into the last 10 minutes now of the first half. Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. A very, very early goal it was, as we know, from Bukayo Saka. But Brighton are coming forward again. Sonny March on his near side. He looks their most dangerous attacker, doesn't he? Sonny March cut inside onto that left foot. Plays the ball square to Trossard. Arsenal still haven't managed to get it clear. It's with Billy Gilmore. Now he plays it out to that far side. Brighton still in possession with Toma now. He's got Ben White and Bukayo Saka for company. Plays it back instead. There's a little bit of time now for Brighton over on that far side. Comes back in at to Billy Gilmore. Now it's with Lewis Dunk. This is better from Brighton. They're keeping possession. They're kind of pushing us on the back foot, but we are managing to keep our shape well. But the ball out that near side wasn't a great ball actually. Sonny March couldn't keep it in, and it's gone out for a throw to Arsenal. But that was better from Brighton, and I'm sure their manager Roberto Di Zabri will be a lot more happier with how they've grown into this first half, Brighton. But so far, Arsenal are still with a large amount of control, let's be honest, as we head towards the final 8 minutes of this first half. Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. A very, very good start to this game from Arsenal. But Brighton won a free kick now on this near side, midway inside the Arsenal half. Opportunity for them to maybe try and get the ball into the box. It's a throw. Tarek Lamptey is going to take that. Goes back to Lewis Dunk. And Brighton now in possession with Levi Colwill. A little bit of space and time just slows the play down a little bit as Brighton looks to try to find a way back into the game. They're in possession over on the far side. Now it's played into midfield to Adam Lallana, but that ball wasn't great. As Zinchenko picks their pocket, and now Martinelli can run again at the Brighton defence on this near side. There's a good first half. Gabriel Martinelli plays it back to Gabriel, then exchanges passes with Zinchenko, gets it back again. Martinelli. This is good play from Arsenal, just keeping possession. We haven't had a lot of possession ever in the last 10 minutes or so. We're keeping the ball now. It's gone all the way back to Aaron Ramsdale. Just threads the ball forward into midfield to Thomas Partey. He's got the ball back again. No, so Eddie Nketiah. Sorry, Eddie Nketiah now running at that defence. Plays it out to that far side to Martin Odegaard. The overlap is Ben White. Tries to pull it back towards the centre, towards the penalty spot. Good defending though again from Brighton over on that far side. But it is going to be a corner to Arsenal. Can we get the second goal before the break? The second goal, which would be so important, wouldn't it, for Arsenal if we can get it? But we'll have to see. So far, we haven't managed to find the second goal. But this is an opportunity now. William Saliba's coming up for this. We know how dangerous he can be from these set pieces, don't we? So let's see whether we can get that second goal, which would be fantastic, wouldn't it, if we can? We'll have to see how it goes. Anyway, it's a corner over on that far side. Bukayo Saka is going to swing this in with his left foot, as indeed he loves to do. Let's see if we can get something from this. Saka with the corner towards the near post. His header comes in from Gabriel. It falls to Martin Odegaard on into the box. It's deflected, but it's in. It is 2-0. We've got the second goal. Surely that seals the points now with, 6 minutes to go until the break. Brighton wasn't able to deal with that corner. It came out to Martin Odegaard. His shot came in. I think it took a slight deflection, but it's gone in. And it is a goal. He hit it first time. It did take a deflection actually off. I think it's Adam Lallana just in front of him there. Threw himself at the ball there, Lallana. It did come off him. In fact, no, I don't know if it did actually. I think it might have just gone straight. And we'll see better from this angle here. I think it did take a slight deflection. I don't think it really altered the path of the ball too much. And it has gone in. That's 2-0. We said we needed a second goal. Arsenal are on the brink here of going 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League going into 2023. 7 points clear. Wow. Martin Odegaard with the goal there. That's his 7th Premier League goal of the season. Wow. Brighton 0, Arsenal 2. Fantastic stuff, isn't it? And as we approach the final 5 minutes of the first half, Arsenal now are in complete and utter control here on the South Coast at a ground where we haven't done particularly well in recent years. In fact, say just that one win here in the league since 1981. We have won here 3 times in the FA Cup in that period as well. Anyway, Brighton now coming forward looking for an instant response. A goal back before half-time could put a different complexion on this game, couldn't it? But certainly so far, we don't look in danger of dropping any points. And I say it would take us 7 points clear. Well, Brighton have just put the ball out actually because there's an injury. Is that Bukayo Saka who's gone down? Not quite sure. Anyway, his boots come off. Might be Thomas Partey actually. Can't really see at this point. I think it is Saka. It is Saka actually. It was just a tackle there. He actually lost his boot in that previous Brighton attack straight after the second goal. He's got his foot stood on actually, and then his boot came off. It was a tackle there from Estupinan, and Saka looks like he's going to be okay. He's putting his boot back on again now, and we should be fine with that as we head towards the 4 minutes now until half time. It's been a very, very good first half from Arsenal. A goal at the start of the first half from Saka, and then one towards the end there from Martin Odegaard, and Arsenal are in full control here on the South Coast. It is 2-0 to Arsenal. Brilliant stuff. Don't forget, please give it a like if you're enjoying the show and you're enjoying Arsenal winning 2-0. That would be great. And if you are new here, maybe you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing as well. That would be much appreciated. But particularly give it a like. You know, we want to get the likes up, though. We want to get at least 15 likes, don't we? Let's be honest. but we'll see. Phil says, nice to get a cushion when Brighton started to get into the game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they wasn't creating too many chances, was they? But I was a little bit worried about the fact that we hadn't got that second goal. So now that we have, I can see that, that's a great platform now, isn't it, to go on in the second half and really just see this game through, get the points. And I say that'll be 7 points clear at the top, which would be fantastic. Anyway, Brighton certainly haven't given this up yet. Lamptey driving forward on this near side, plays the ball back again to Billy Gilmore. But Brighton's problem is going to be scoring goals. They've not looked like scoring in this game, and they're going to need at least 2 goals to deny us the victory. And at this moment in time, I can't see them getting even 1 goal. They certainly haven't really looked. That's their problem, isn't it? Scoring goals, Brighton. They are a decent team. They're solid. They've got a good style of play, but they are lacking that goal scoring touch. In fact, they don't even have a striker on the bench. Danny Welbeck, as we know, is unfit at the moment. But we are on the brink of going 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League, and we would be 9 points clear of Newcastle as well, ahead of that meeting, of course, on Tuesday evening at the Emirates. A big game that is going to be. Newcastle dropped a couple of points this afternoon, a 0-0 draw against Leeds at St James's Park. So we've got an opportunity to gain some points on them as well ahead of that big game on Tuesday. That is going to be a difficult game for Arsenal. There's no doubt about that. We know how good Newcastle are, especially away from home. They've been playing well away from home, haven't they? Scoring lots of goals. But anyway, let's get this game out of the way first before we start thinking too far ahead. Tariq Lamptey now. If Brighton can get a goal back in this last 90 seconds of the first half, it would change things completely. Sonny Marsh with across the walls of far post looking for Mitoma, but it's overhit. It's gone behind. It is going to be a goal kick to Arsenal, which is what we need. We're coming up to the last minute of normal time. You'd imagine there's going to be not much stoppage time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I would say, at the most, because there's not really been too many breaks in play. It's been pretty flowing, hasn't it? Dell's in the chat. How you doing, Dell? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you had a good Christmas. It's a 7 points clear. Unfortunately, I just can't see Arsenal winning the league. As soon as the business end of the season kicks in, you'll be dropping points. Well, I kind of agree with you at this moment in time. We're not going to know yet, are we, how we're going to cope with that pressure later on in the season until we're in that position. Last season, we were in a different situation. We were battling for a place in the top 4, and when the pressure kicked in, we didn't have a strong enough squad and we dropped away. And potentially at this moment in time, a similar thing could happen this season, but we've got a lot bigger advantage this time. Last season we were hanging on to the top 4. Thomas Partey just gone down injured, actually, with a tackle a little bit off the ball, off the pitch. Arsenal not happy about that. Referee Anthony Taylor has now got a yellow card. It was a foul there by Billy Gilmore, just off the pitch. Thomas Partey just got the ball. I mean, I think that's a little bit harsh yellow card when you see the replay, actually. I think maybe, well, yeah, I suppose he did kick out a little bit at him. And Thomas Partey is injured off the pitch. But there's going to be 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. It is a yellow card. The first yellow card of the game goes to Billy Gilmore of Brighton. But Arsenal got a free kick now on this near side, which Sonny March decides to move back about 5 yards before we take it. But I say, we're not going to know yet, are we? How are we going to deal with the pressure? Gabriel just got himself a yellow card as well. We're not quite sure why. But anyway, it's all happening at the end of this first half. But the most important statistic is Arsenal are winning 2-0. And I say that would put us 7 points clear. And that what position to be in. But still a very, very long way to go, of course, as we know, in this game. And, of course, in the season as well as a whole, because we're not even at the halfway point yet. People said, you're being top at Christmas, being top on New Year's Day. But usually at this point, most teams have played 4 or 5 games more than what we have done at this moment in time. So, we're a little bit behind in games because of the World Cup. But 7 points clear, that would be a fantastic position to be in. And as long as we defend this lead well in the second half, that's where we're going to go into 2023. Wouldn't that be great? And certainly unexpected as well. Man City dropping a few points, but let's remember as well, of course, over the last few seasons, Man City have come from behind in the title race against Liverpool, haven't they? A couple of times they've been quite a long way behind, and they've turned it around and pulled it around. And you know that Man City have got the players there. Thomas Partey's just got a yellow card as well, actually. Maybe a slightly revenge foul there. That one was on Lallana, but the two managers just getting involved on the near side. The referee's having to come down and calm things down there between them. Thomas Partey gets a yellow card there as well. No yellow cards for 45 minutes, and then stoppage time at the end of the first half. There's now been 3 in very quick succession. Let's hope one of those 2 for Arsenal doesn't come back to haunt us in the second half. Gabriel and Thomas Partey. They just had a number of shots there. Brighton have had 3. Arsenal have had 8. Arsenal 3 on target, 2 goals as well. That's not a bad conversion rate, is it? Brighton 2 on target. So yeah, I don't think there's any doubt Arsenal deserve this lead at half time. We have been a much better team. And yeah, we are on the way to that 7-point lead, which would be amazing, wouldn't it? But anyway, Brighton are coming forward now with Matuma. I say if Brighton were to get a goal back right now in these last few seconds of the first half, it could put a totally different complexion on the second half, couldn't it? They are still in possession. Brighton play here to Tariq Lamptey. He's got Sonny March just ahead of him on this near side. He's gone round the back, Tariq Lamptey, but Sonny March is not going to use him. In fact, he's done a little bit too much there, lost possession. The ball's rolled behind. It is going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. And in fact, that is the final action of the first half. It is half-time at the Amex. Brighton 0, Arsenal 2. Very, very early goal from Bukayo Saka gave us the lead inside the first minute. It was a shot from Martinelli. It took 2 deflections. It fell to Saka at the far post. Showed a cool head just to slot it in to the far corner. And then, 6 or 7 minutes or so before half-time, it was 2-0. A corner was only half cleared away. It fell to Martin Odegaard about 14 yards out. His first time shot. Took a slight deflection and flew in to that far corner. And it is 2-0 to Arsenal. And we are 45 minutes away from ending 2022. 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. 7 points clear. Well, can you actually believe that? I find that almost impossible to believe, but it is a fact. We will be if we hold on to this lead. Terry says they're more than happy with our first half. Let's hope we can keep this up in the second half. Yeah, I mean, all we've got to do now is manage the game well in the second half, haven't we? Obviously, the next goal is going to be massively important, isn't it? If Brighton get one back, certainly if it's very early in the half, then it could be very, very nervy. But if we get the next goal, go 3-0 up, game's done. But let's just manage the game well in the second half. We don't need to take too many chances. It doesn't matter if we score another goal or not, regardless. We've got the 2-goal advantage. It's up to Brighton now, isn't it, to try to find a way back and make it difficult for us. But as things stand, it's looking very, very good. I say what has been a very difficult ground for us over recent years. So it's been a very impressive Arsenal performance. And yeah, so far, so good. Let's hope that we can push on in the second half and yeah, let's just get the job finished. But we're almost there. 7 points clear. Wow. I mean, we'd certainly take that, won't we? Yes, it's a fair point that Del made there about when the pressure's on later on. Yeah, we don't know yet, do we? We've not been in, Arsenal haven't been in a situation where we've been challenging for the title for a long, long time. So it's difficult to say how the pressure is going to affect them. None of these players have been in this position before. But we'll see. Let's hope January. I do feel as though this is a big January window, though. I think if we don't strengthen, then, we didn't buy anybody last January, and in the end, that cost us the top 4. If we don't strengthen this January, then you have to say that the chance of us winning a title will be greatly reduced. But let's hope that we've got 2 or 3 signings lined up. And I think if we have, I would have no worries then that we can push on. And, will we win the league? I don't know. It's still very early in the season, isn't it? But it's certainly looking week by week that we are going to be challenging for the title. And that's, where we've been the last few years, that's pretty much the what a fantastic achievement that would be on its own. But when you start to, as the games start rolling down, we're going to start thinking, can we do it? Let's try and do it, because we really want to. What a great result that would be, wouldn't it? Terry says, how good does that sound? 7 points clear. Yeah, we're not quite 7 points clear yet. There's still 45 minutes left to go. But yeah, as things stand, at the current live league table, we are 7 points clear, and it does sound very, very good. But yeah, it's still early days. Let's try not to get too carried away quite yet, because there's still 45 minutes of football to play. But I mean, wouldn't that be a great way to go into the new year? Well, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be a good way to go into the new year. It'd be a fantastic way to go into the new year. Let's see. Right, I'm going to grab myself a little drink at half time. So stay with us. We'll be back very, very soon for the second half. Brighton 0, Arsenal 2. A very, very good first half so far, but it's only half time. Long way to go, but so far so good on this New Year's Eve. It is Brighton 0, Arsenal 2. And Terry says Newcastle are still looking dangerous. Yeah, they are. They dropped some points today. Big game Tuesday night, isn't it? Like, really big game. That is going to be a really, really important match, that, isn't it? If we win that one, that puts Newcastle out of the running a little bit, doesn't it? So what a big game that's going to be. We'll look forward to that on Monday. I've got 2 shows on Monday, actually, just before I have a little break. We've got Billy from the Toon Review coming on Monday afternoon at 2:00 for a preview of that Newcastle game from a Newcastle perspective. Obviously, they're over the moon with how their season's going so far. So that's going to be a good show at 2:00. And then 8:00 Monday night, we're going to have the Arsenal review as normal, looking back on these last 2 games, looking ahead to Newcastle, Oxford in the FA Cup as well. And we'll maybe have a little look back on the year of 2022 as well, the ups and downs, but certainly a great finish to the year. So all that's coming up on Monday on a channel called Tuesday. We'll be doing a watch-along as well, Arsenal versus Newcastle. So lots of great stuff still to come on the channel as we move into 2023. So it's been a bit of a quiet week or so on the channel due to Christmas and stuff like that, but we're going to be back firing again in January. Loads of great stuff coming up. So please like, share and subscribe. In the meantime, stay with us. We'll be back very, very soon for a full second half of Brighton versus Arsenal. Is 2-0. Saka and Ødegaard with the goals. Well, 7 points clear. Don't shout it yet, but we are nearly there, aren't we? So I'll see you very, very soon. Take it easy, guys, and stay tuned for the second half coming up. Other side of this. Hello, we are back for the second half, which is going to be hopefully as good as that first half, which was brilliant, wasn't it? But so we're only halfway there, aren't we? So we'll see what the second half brings. But so far, so good, certainly for Arsenal. We are 2-0 up, and as things stand, we will be 7 points clear going into the new year. Wow. Wonder when the last time we were 7 points clear on New Year's Day. Be a very, very long time ago, won't it? I don't even think the Invincible team was 7 points clear on New Year's Day, were they? Probably not. And we certainly hadn't produced this amount of points. 43 points we'll be on, which is incredible. It means we're certainly safe from relegation anyway. 43 points, which is one good thing, isn't it? But let's see. I mean, I don't know. I still can't believe that this team can win the league. But that's mainly to do with how we've performed over the last few years and the fact that we've got such a young team that we're wondering how they're going to cope with the pressure. And, you know, there's going to be a lot more pressure, isn't there, coming up, you know. Bearing in mind, we're not even halfway through the season yet. We've got the Europa League to come. We've got the FA Cup to come. A lot of games still to play. Anyway, the teams are coming back out for the second half. Brighton are already out. Arsenal now are coming out as well, looking to complete this job that we've done so far really, really well here on the South Coast. A traditionally difficult game for us, but we're 2-0 up. And I wouldn't exactly say cruising at this moment in time, but we're 2-0 up and looking pretty comfortable, let's be honest. But we'll see what the second half brings. I'm sure Brighton are still going to have a say in this game, but I say the next goal is going to be so important, isn't it? If Arsenal get it, then you would have to say that the likelihood is that we will go on and win this game pretty comfortably. But if Brighton get the next goal, gets back to 2-1, who knows? It could be a lot more tense, couldn't it, for this second half? But we'll see. Certainly, the way things have gone in that first half, you would imagine we are going to go and complete this job. We are about to get off and underway in this second half. It is going to be Brighton to kick off, attacking the goal to our left. So Arsenal will be attacking the goal where our fans are behind in this second half. Can we add to those 2 goals we got in the first half from Bukayo Saka and, of course, Martin Ødegaard? Brighton now straight in possession now on this near side, looking to try and find a way back into this game, which isn't going to be easy for them, is it? We know that, but let's see. It's just a matter of us managing this second half well, isn't it? And if we can get another goal, then even better. Brighton trying to play it out from the back. Actually, Arsenal pressing high up the pitch. Martin Ødegaard and Bukayo Saka as well. And Arsenal have won the throw on this near side. Ben White's going to take it quickly for Arsenal, is he? No, he's not, because he wasn't allowed to. There's no changes to either side then. So Brighton, it's Robert Sanchez in goal. They're back for Tariq Lamptey, Lewis Dunk, Levi Colwill and Purvis Estupinian. In midfield, Billy Gilmore, Pascal Gross and Adam Lallana, and up front for them, Sonny March, Keiru Mitoma and Leander Trossard. And for Arsenal, it is Aaron Ramsdale in goal, back for Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, Alexander Zinchenko. In midfield, Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka and Martin Ødegaard, and a free up front, Bukayo Saka with a goal. Eddie Nketiah and Martinelli. But Brighton coming forward now with Trossard on this near side, dinks the ball into the box. It's cleared away though by Thomas Partey. Finds Martin Ødegaard, and suddenly Arsenal have got a counter-attacking opportunity now with Bukayo Saka on this near side. Plays it into Martin Ødegaard now. Thomas Partey, a little bit of space, plays it out to that far side. Gabriel Martinelli inside the penalty. It's going to be 3-0. Martinelli across the goal. Good save. It's not. It's dropped. And Eddie Nketiah is in. It is 3-0. The first minute of the second half. That's a goal at the start of each half. Arsenal in total control. It is 3-0. And that is that. We have got the 3 points. We are 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Wow, it just gets better and better. Lovely counter-attack again from Arsenal over on that far side. Martinelli it was. Got past Lamptey this time. Got his shot away. Sanchez maybe could have done better. Spilled the ball. And who's there to get the tap in? Eddie Nketiah doing what Eddie Nketiah does. The fox in the box. Pounce quickly. Put it into the empty net. And Arsenal now in complete control. We've got the points wrapped up. And we are going 7 points clear. We can now relax and enjoy the rest of this second half, safe in the knowledge that we've won the game. Terry says, Eddie, what a start indeed. I say a goal in the first minute of each half. What a way to start. Terry says, let's hope we try and keep hold of the ball a bit more in the second half. Well, we don't need to now. We're 3-0 up. Job's a good one. The Arsenal fans behind the goal enjoying that moment there as Eddie taps in the very, very first minute. That's 2-2 for him since a restart. 2-2 for Bukayo Saka. If Martinelli can score as well, that'll be 2-2 for him as well, won't it? Amazing stuff. And Arsenal 3-0 up. And suddenly that the top four is now looking very, very good, isn't it? But I think our ambitions now are slightly higher than that, aren't they? I think, why not? Let's dream in 2023, eh? Let's dream big. It will be 19 years since our last league title, the invincible season in 2004. Whatever happens this season, we're not going to be invincible, are we? But at this moment in time, we have amassed the most points ever after 16 games in a season. 43 points we've got. And what an incredible run of form this is. And yeah, let's dream big, shall we? Let's dream big. Why not think we can win the league? Because we're in a fantastic position, and yeah, a long way to go, but let's just enjoy this while we can. And yeah, and why not dream? Why not dream big for the new year, eh? Why not? Anyway, Brighton now coming forward, but William Saliba's across there. It is going to be a throw to Brighton on this near side. This game looks as though it's done and dusted in terms of result now. Arsenal surely have got this game won. It would be an incredible turnaround from Brighton if they came back from this. And they certainly haven't looked like scoring one goal in this game, let alone three. So we said, didn't we, the next goal was going to be important. And it's Arsenal that scored it very, very early on in the second half. And that should seal the deal. I'm sure Arsenal will now sit back, allow Brighton possession, but they are coming forward now with Matoma on this near side of the ball across the 6-yard box. Arsenal don't really clear it away. The shot comes in on the turn from, I think it was Adam Lallana actually, but it was well blocked though from Arsenal. And, we want to keep a clean sheet, won't we, really? But anyway, Brighton have won the ball back now. Matoma again's got a little bit of space on this near side, outside of his foot, that cross, but it's not a great cross, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to Arsenal. Brighton then just having a little bit of possession there, just forcing us back slightly at the start of the second half, but it's all going to be too little too late for them, and Arsenal have got the points. The Brighton fans there just complaining that Aaron Ramsdale's maybe taking a little bit too long over this goal kick, but it's going to be a long second half for those Brighton fans, isn't it? We've only played 6 minutes of this second half. Arsenal coming forward again, looking for a fourth goal, which would be a fantastic performance, wouldn't it? We did win our very first ever league meeting away at Brighton in 1979 by 4-0. And that's the only time we've scored more than 2 previously here in a league game. We have scored 3 twice in the FA Cup. 2 3-2 victories, of course, in 2013 and 2015. The second, of course, on our way to retaining the FA Cup. But our ambitions now, yes, an FA Cup run. Of course, it starts, a week on Monday. Away at Oxford, of course, a difficult game for Arsenal, a tricky start to the FA Cup. But, I'm sure our ambitions now are more in the Premier League. Suddenly, Brighton got a chance to pull a goal back. Oh, good save from Ramsdale. In fact, it was offside. Pascal Gross, it was, made a run into the box. He did look offside. It was given as offside. Let's just check the replay. It was a good save, actually. Yes, he was offside. He went just a fraction too early, did the German. And it was a good save from Ramsdale anyway. You wouldn't have known that he was offside at that particular time. So a good save there from Aaron Ramsdale to keep that clean sheet intact for the time being. Also coming forward again, Eddie Nketiah following Saka's little layoff there. Now the ball played out to the far side to Martinelli. Had a very good first. He had a very good first half, Martinelli, didn't he? And then he almost got himself a goal, but it was his shot that was pushed out by Sanchez to give Eddie Nketiah the opportunity to score a third goal. And I say Arsenal now in complete and utter control in this game. Absolutely total and utter control. And that's where we want to be. And it's a throw now to Arsenal over on that far side. Thomas Partey is going to take this and he's going to throw it long, you would assume, into that towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Eddie's in there again. Martinelli, Saka as well. Granit Xhaka. It comes in. It's flicked on at that near post. In fact, it comes off the head of Gabriel. It's going to be a goal kick to Brighton. It was a Lewis Dunk there putting Gabriel under pressure, but it's a goal kick, as we said, to Brighton. So that is the way that one's worked out, not necessarily how Arsenal hoped that would go. Anyway, Brighton now just playing the ball out from the back. Lewis Dunk plays it up this near side to Matoma. This is a good play from Brighton, actually, looking to come forward and get some sort of consolation from this goal. And they've won a free kick there. Was it Saka with the foul? In fact, Saka has got himself a yellow card as well. There was a flurry of yellow cards at the end of the first half, and there's been one already in the second half there. It was a good run forward there from Estepinian, and it was a foul by Saka, and he's picked up a yellow card. Not many yellow cards for him. That's the fourth one this season. Well, actually, that puts him one away from a ban, doesn't it? I think the I don't know when the deadline is. Is it the end of January? Anyway, we need to be a bit more careful, doesn't he, Saka? Anyway, Brighton got a free kick here on this near side, midway inside at the Arsenal half. A chance for Brighton to get the ball into the box. It is Pascal Gross. That was a bit strange. Did he actually touch the ball? Anyway, Brighton coming forward still now on that near side. Across a low cross towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Arsenal don't really clear it away. It's still inside the penalty with Leandro Trossard. Good defending that was there from, I think it was Bukayo Saka actually. Now Eddie Nketiah on the counter-attack for Arsenal. He's got 3 Brighton players around him. He buys the free kick, gets the free kick. That's good play that is from Eddie Nketiah, who has had a good game tonight, you have to say. And he's got himself another goal. That is his 5th goal of the season in all competitions. His 2nd in the Premier League in consecutive games. We were wondering, wasn't we? It's funny, isn't it? Because we were all worried, wasn't we, when we heard about Gabriel Jesus' injury, worrying about where it would leave us in attack. And Gabriel Jesus hadn't scored in his last 7-8 league games, and Eddie's come in and scored 2 in a row. So it's just strange how things work out, isn't it? But anyway. That's something that we can worry about on another occasion. But for now, it's all going well for Eddie, isn't it? He's in great form, and 2 goals in 2 games for him, which is brilliant. So let's hope that there's more of that to come as we go through the next few games, because Eddie's he's important player now, isn't he, for us? We're relying on him to pop up with his fair share of goals, and he's certainly done that, hasn't he? So far since the restart from the World Cup. He's in possession now over on that far side. Actually, Arsenal's left, plays it back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko again. He played a little bit short there from Thomas Partey. In fact, he's fouled Zinchenko trying to win the ball. It was Sonny March there. We don't want him to get injured again. He's only just come back from injury. He's already had a couple of injury spells out of the team, hasn't he? Zinchenko already, and it was actually a yellow card actually there to Sonny March. Not surprising. It was quite a late charge. It wasn't a great ball from Thomas Partey actually. March did slide in, and he has caught Zinchenko there. Just a little bit late. No malice in that tackle particularly, but it was a little bit late, and it's going to be a free kick. And Sonny March has got himself a yellow card. Yellow cards have been there's been quite a few, hasn't there, given out in this game so far. Let's hope that it doesn't lead to a red. Certainly not for Arsenal. Arsenal got a free kick over on that far side. Martin Odegaard plays it into the 6-yard box. Shot comes in. Oh, it was a shot again on a rebound. Put wide by William Saliba. I think it was Ben White with the first effort from that free kick from Martin Odegaard. It was a free header, actually. It wasn't. It was Gabriel. It was well saved, actually, from Sanchez. It was straight at him, actually, to be fair. It was a decent enough save. And then the follow-up shot from William Saliba was put wide. Arsenal close to a 4th goal. and we've played 57 minutes. Mitoma now coming forward on this near side, does well actually, plays the ball forward. It wasn't a great ball, but Brighton have won a corner. Good defending there from Saliba, got himself in position, but the ball just ran away from him there, and it is going to be a corner to Brighton on this near side, which Pascal Gross is going to take. Very, very close to a fourth goal there from Arsenal. That would have been, definitely would have sealed it, wouldn't it? Anyway, Matuma now on this near side. Again, he's good tackling there from Eddie. It's going to be a corner again, though, to Brighton. Just put a little bit of pressure on us now, Brighton. They're going to make a substitution as well, it seems. I think it's Samiento who's going to be coming on. Anyway, they've got another corner at the moment, Brighton, which Gross is going to take. It's in towards the near post, and Ramsdale gets a bit lucky, actually. I think he went to punch it, didn't really punch it, and luckily it just fell right into his arms. A little bit fortunate there for Arsenal, that corner there in at the near post. He went to punch it, it came off Mitoma, and just fell straight back into the grateful arms of Aaron Ramsdale there. Arsenal trying to come forward, but Brighton have won the ball back. Tariq Lamptey, Brighton having a good little spell here, actually. But a good defensive play there just in front of the back four by Ben White, and now Martin Odegaard does well, plays it square to Granit Xhaka, now Thomas Partey. It's that midfield where Arsenal have been really strong in this game. Granit Xhaka again in possession, plays the ball forward to Eddie Nketiah. He's got Martinelli just outside him over on that far side, plays it square instead to Xhaka again. Xhaka dinks the ball to this near side. Ben White, can he keep it in? No, he can't. It's just run away from him. He's going to be a throw to Brighton. We come up towards the hour mark. Now we're going to get the substitution. It is going to be Semiento. In fact, they're making two substitutions. It's going to be Evan Ferguson as well, young player through the Brighton Academy, one of their under-21s, who's going to be coming on now with the last half an hour or so still to play. So let's see who's going off for Brighton. This is the first changes of the game. 59 minutes played. It is going to be, who's going off? 35. That ball can't be right. It's saying number 3's going off. Number 3's not even playing. Or is that Arsenal side? Oh, Ben White is, sorry. They're the Arsenal side. So Ben White's just gone off. And Tomiyasu's come on. So that's a straight swap. And Zinchenko's going off as well. And Tierney's coming on. So they were showing the Brighton players, and it was actually the two Arsenal subs. So the two, Zinchenko, so it's two changes at fullback. Zinchenko and Ben White have come off for Tomiyasu and Tierney. And for Brighton, it is Lallana has gone off. Was it Pascal Gross? No, Trossard's gone off as well. And it's Evan Ferguson and Jeremy Samiento that's come on for Brighton. So 4 changes there, 2 from both teams. As we hit the hour mark, Martinelli just conceded a free kick over on that far side. It is Brighton 0, Arsenal 3. As things stand, Arsenal will be going 7 points clear in the top of the Premier League going into the new year. Wow, 7 points clear. That is amazing. Anyway, Brighton are coming forward now. Looking for what would surely only be a consolation goal for them, but Arsenal have dealt with that pretty well. Tomiyasu now, his first involvement, plays a ball forward. It's a decent ball, actually. Eddie holds it up well, finds Martin Odegaard. Had a bit of pressure, but he holds onto the ball well. Thomas Partey then shovels it out to that far side. Kieran Tierney, that was his first touch. Then Martinelli's fouled. Is he? No, he's not. It's going to be a free kick to Brighton. Kieran Tierney complaining it was an Arsenal ball, but the linesman says no, and Tariq Lamptey is going to take this throw for Brighton, who are surely just playing for a bit of pride now, aren't they, in this last half an hour? But there's 2 balls on the pitch, which was a bit strange there. Billy Gilmore's and actually just throw the other one off. And in fact, the referee's got the second ball now. In fact, it's going to be a drop ball instead, which seems a bit strange, really, because the ball was thrown back on as Brighton took the throw in. But anyway, and it's just going to be given back to Arsenal. To Granit Xhaka, plays it into Martin Odegaard, flicks the ball over the top, looking for the run-in of Eddie Nketiah over on that far side. He's done well in Nketiah, but He claimed he was fouled there by Lewis Dunk. I don't think he was. He's going to be a goal kick. It was not. Had a good touch from Eddie Nketiah. He was just trying to hold off the Brighton captain. He did have his arm across his back, but you're never going to get a penalty for that, I'm afraid. And it is going to be a goal kick instead to Brighton. Lewis Dunk plays the ball out to that far side. Brighton now. See if their substitutions can maybe give them a little bit of life, because it's been it's a difficult time for Brighton, isn't it? You're 3-0 down at home with most of the second half still to play. It's a tough position to be in, isn't it? But they've got themselves another goal kick. But the Arsenal fans behind that goal are certainly enjoying their trip down to the South Coast a little bit better than we have done in recent years. Certainly last season's game was a tough one, wasn't it? In the rain, we drew 0-0. It looks like the rain stopped in Brighton. It's been a very wet afternoon, but it seems though the weather's cleared up a little bit now. And it's certainly looking a lot brighter for Arsenal on the South Coast today, isn't it? Brighton 0, Arsenal 3. Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard and Eddie Nketiah with the goals. And we are heading 7 points clear at the top of the table. Incredible stuff. But still a long way to go, as we said. But we're gonna start dreaming on this channel. We're gonna start dreaming big, guys. So join us in our big dreams for 2023. We shall see. Anyway, Arsenal now in possession with Tomiyasu on this near side. Good to see him back fit, but he had the ball taken off him from Mitoma. Of course, those two know each other very well, don't they, from the Japanese national team. And Brighton now with Billy Gilmore. He's had a good game for Brighton, you have to say. That's a nice ball through as well. Brighton going to get a chance for a goal. Mituma's in, and Mitoma scores. Brighton have pulled one back. 64 minutes. You'd imagine that's just going to be a consolation, surely, for Brighton. The clean sheet's gone. A good goal, actually. It was well worked by Brighton, you have to say. Some nice, intricate play on the edge of the box. Billy Gilmore started it. It was, he's just onside. It looks like he's just onside Mitoma. Nice touch. Nice finish as well, actually. Yeah, he's onside. It's gone to VAR, but he looks onside. To me, I think it's Gabriel. Gabriel's hip is just playing him onside. He does look onside to me. His knee just slightly on the line of the penalty area. It may not be a goal yet, actually. Let's just see. I think he's onside. It's green. It's onside. Yes, the goal's given, and it was a nice finish, to be fair, from the Japanese forward, who did score, of course, at the Emirates in that 3-1 victory that Brighton got over us. Terry says no. Well, it's a consolation goal. It should be no more than that. But there is still 25 minutes to play. And if Brighton was to get the next goal, then who knows? But it's certainly going to give them a lift. Maybe their substitutions have helped a little bit for Brighton. They've got a goal back. It is 3-1. And maybe Arsenal haven't quite got this sealed quite yet. It was a good move from Brighton, actually. A lovely ball flicked through and a really good finish there from Mitoma. He looks a decent player, actually, doesn't he? He looked good when they beat us in the cup, and he's just got a good goal back there. Emerson in the chat, Emerson, good to see. Hope you're enjoying the game. He says he's played well, to be fair. Their best player so far. Mitoma, yeah, no, he has. He looks a good player, doesn't he? He has played well, and he took that goal well. He's on the ball again. I mean, if Brighton were to get a second goal, then I think it would start to get a little bit nervy, wouldn't it? But anyway, they are coming forward down this near side. And yeah, suddenly their tails are up a bit bright. That's a crossing towards the penalty spot, cleared away by Arsenal, but not really that far, actually. And it's Colwill there, plays it back to Lewis Dunk. He has played well, Mitoma. I say he does look a decent player. And in fact, it was him winning the ball off Tomiyasu that started that move. Anyway, ball played into the box again, but that's good defending by Kieran Tierney. Maybe then, we made 2 defensive substitutions, didn't we, just before that goal? Maybe we were still settling in maybe a little bit. And sometimes that happens, doesn't it? We just switched off for a second. Nice bit of play from Brighton. And suddenly the clean sheet's gone. And I say Brighton have got their tails up now. And we just need to be sensible now for the next 10 minutes. What we can't do is concede another goal, because suddenly the nerves would start then, wouldn't they? If Brighton get it back to a 3-2, there's still what, 23 minutes to play. Ball played into the box again. They've got another chance. Oh, it was a full stretch there. Pascal Gross, it was. Couldn't quite get enough on that, but suddenly Arsenal looking very, very shaky here. What a ball that was again into the box. Oh, I see what, if he'd got something on that. Tomiyasu was caught out there actually. And if Pascal Gross had got more on that ball there, it could well have been a second goal for Brighton. They've certainly not given this up, have they? And well, that was very close. Terry says we need to start waking up a bit. Yeah, we do. You're right. We've, you know, it's a funny situation sometimes, isn't it? You're 3-0 up and you feel in control, and it's easy just to switch off for a second, isn't it? We made a couple of substitutions, and yeah, suddenly we've gone from looking in complete control to, I wouldn't say we're rocking particularly, but if they'd got that second goal just then, that could have been a different story. And they're certainly playing a lot better now, Brighton. And we just need to get our control back in this game, don't we? We just need to get our foot on the ball again, keep a bit of possession, which we haven't done particularly well. Anyway, Brighton coming forward again, but that's good play from Martinelli. Wins it back, finds Thomas Partey, gets it to Granit Xhaka, and Martinelli went on a run down that far side, but Xhaka instead goes back. And now it's with William Saliba, plays it to Martin Odegaard, and now it's gone back to Aaron Ramsdale. Now it's back with Saliba again on this near side, plays the ball forward. It wasn't a good ball actually. Brighton cut it out, but in the end, he's got deflected behind it. He's going to be a throw to Arsenal. It was Levi Colwill there, the Chelsea loanee, who made a decent interception at first, but he got a bit unfortunate with the pass, and it is going to be a throw which Tomiyasu's taking. Maybe Tomiyasu will feel not quite in tune with the game, actually, and that's probably what led to that goal, if we're honest. I say Mitoma took the ball off him, and then he maybe didn't quite get his position back, did he, in time, and Brighton scored. But it looks like it's just going to be a consolation for them. But we'll see. There's 21 minutes still to play. So Arsenal just need to get some possession. We're not keeping the ball at all now. It's Brighton again in possession, putting a long ball forward. That's a good ball. Mituma's in again, the wrong side of Tomiyasu, but that ball's going to run through to Aaron Ramsdale there. He's certainly having a good second half, isn't he, the Japanese striker for Brighton? And he was almost in again, that long ball over the top. I think it was Lewis Dunk with a pass forward. And again, Tomiyasu maybe caught slightly out of position there, although he did get back pretty well. But Aaron Ramsdale was in, and suddenly Brighton again have got a little bit of space now. Arsenal getting pulled apart inside the penalty area. It's good play. Ball across the box. No Brighton players there. Thomas Partey is able to clear it away. Well, we are rocking a little bit now, actually. Brighton got in behind us 2 or 3 times. And since we made a substitution, suddenly it's not gone great. But now a counter-attack. Martinelli's in. He's got Saka in the middle. This could be the 4th goal to seal it. Martinelli's shot. It's gone in through the keeper. Not sure if he meant that as a shot, if it got deflected. It's gone through the goalkeeper. And just as it looked as though we were rocking at 3-1, Brighton had a couple of chances to get a second goal. We've broken away. Martin Odegaard with a ball. Martinelli over on that far side. And he has made it 2 out of 2 for him as well. And surely that seals it. I mean, that must be it now. It was a nice counter-attack from Arsenal, actually. Martin Odegaard with that ball. Right across the inside of Tariq Lamptey. Martinelli's got the wrong side of him. In fact, it looks like that's an own goal from Tariq Lamptey, actually. I think it was a sliding tackle. I say it didn't look like a clean finish from Martinelli. I think that's going to go down as an own goal. I think Tariq Lamptey just come, or is it? Actually, I'm not sure. Anyway. I'm sure Martinelli will be trying to claim it. And it would be his second goal in consecutive games. But I think that's an own goal from Tariq Lamptey. I think Tariq Lamptey's tackled him and it's gone in off the Brighton defender. And that's what's caught the goalkeeper out. He was expecting a pullback from Martinelli. I think Martinelli knows it himself. He's sort of silencing the fans behind the goal as if to say, no, it wasn't my goal. Terry says there, Magic, what a player. I don't think that's Martinelli's goal, actually. But anyway, Terry says Magic deserves a goal. No, he did deserve a goal. I'm not sure if he's going to get that one. I think that might go down as a Tariq Lamptey own goal. But for the minute, it's been given to Martinelli. So we'll see what happens there. But I think that Tariq Lamptey's slide tackle there got the final touch onto that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It is 4-1. There's 19 minutes to play. And surely that does seal the victory there. I know we said it before, but this time, surely it does. Surely we are going 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League now. And Brighton's little mini revival didn't last that long, did it? They got a goal. They had one or two other little chances, but Arsenal now have regained control, the 3-goal lead, and surely that is that now. We're not going to be throwing this away now, are we? You never really thought we were going to throw it away before, but a second Brighton goal would have made it a little bit more nervy, wouldn't it? Anyway, Brighton are coming forward again. They certainly feel as though there's maybe another goal in this for them at least, but Kieran Tierney's defended well there, and it's going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. 72.5 minutes played. Arsenal, I say, in pretty much control now. Great counter-attacking goal, and as things stand, Arsenal with 43 points, Man City with 36, Newcastle with 34, having played a game more. Just goes to show how big that game is on Tuesday at the Emirates, doesn't it? Arsenal against Newcastle. A Newcastle victory would sort of close that gap, wouldn't it? Back down to 4 points. So yeah, that is a massive game on Tuesday evening. We will be bringing you coverage of that, of course, here as well. So please join us for that on Tuesday. It's going to be a very, very exciting match, a very good game between two of the informed teams. Lost just 2 Premier League games between us this season, Arsenal and Newcastle. Anyway, it's now time for Mohamed El Neni to come on. Thomas Partey is going to go off. He's had a great game today, Thomas Partey. Really has been really, really strong in that midfield. It was his tackle very, very early on that brought about that first goal, the important first goal tonight. He's had a great game, Thomas Partey. He's now going to go off and have a bit of a rest. And Mohamed El Neni, the Egyptian, is coming on for these final, 16, 17 minutes or so that remain of this game, just to seal it out, really. That's what we are looking at here, aren't we? And just manage the game well. You know, we had a shaky little spell there, didn't we, when Brighton scored, but we're looking fine again now. We've got a free kick as well. Gabriel there in a little tangle there with Sonny March, but it's given as an Arsenal free kick. It's about 15 yards inside of the Arsenal half, just over on that far side, and it's going to be Mohamed El Neni's first touch. I think is going to be to take this free kick for Arsenal. The Arsenal fans there behind the goal enjoying their evening, and why not? 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League sounds good. Couldn't have gone much better, could it? The return from the World Cup, 2, potentially tricky games and 2 very, very good victories. 7 goals scored as well. So, yeah, very. We couldn't have asked for any more, could we? A lot more than we would have even hoped from these 2 games. And I say another big game to come on Tuesday as well. Can we get 9 points out of 9 over Christmas and New Year? That would be a fantastic result, wouldn't it? But anyway, we've ended 2022 in fine style. 4 different goal scorers as well, which is nice, isn't it? It just goes to show, doesn't it? The way Arsenal are playing at the moment, the goals just spread around the team, aren't they? Phil says there, we're full of goals. Yeah, we are full of goals. And I say they're being spread around the whole team, which is nice, isn't it? But I still feel as though the squad depth is still not quite there. And I do feel as though we've got a brilliant opportunity this season. And we've got a brilliant opportunity in January to strengthen the squad. And I think we have to do it. We have to bring in at least 2 or 3 players in January. Anyway, Brighton are going to make another substitution now. It is going to be Sonny March is going off. He's done a decent enough game, isn't it? It's going to be Julio Enciso coming on, who is a striker, of course, from Paraguay, mates with Miguel Almiron, of course, who Arsenal will face in midweek. That's a long kick there from Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal looking for more goals in this game, but that's headed back by Lewis Dunk into the arms of Robert Sanchez. Maybe might feel he could have done better with both the Arsenal goals in the second half, actually. The first one, the Martinelli shot, which he couldn't hold for Eddie, and then that goal there where Martinelli... Was it a Martinelli shot or was it a tackle from Lamptey? But it went sort of almost through Robert Sanchez's legs, didn't it? Not great goalkeeping from him. Oh, a mistake at the back there from Arsenal. It's the second goal for Brighton. Oh, it's Ferguson, the young under-21s player for Brighton there. It was a mistake there. I think it's William Saliba, who's actually had quite a shaky game at the back. Ramsdale isn't looking very happy to have conceded another goal. And suddenly we're back where we were 5 minutes ago with a 2-goal deficit. It's a good ball over the top. It was really sloppy defending, actually, from Saliba. He got bundled off the ball by the young lad, the young Brighton player there, and suddenly Brighton have given themselves again hope. You feel again it's just going to be a consolation goal. Saliba there was bullied out of that by the 19-year-old Brighton substitute there, Evan Ferguson. I think that might well be his first ever goal in senior football, and if it is, what a moment that is for him. It might not mean too much at the end of it all, but a well taken goal actually from the young man, and sort of sums up. He's 18 actually. They just said he's Brighton's youngest ever Premier League goal scorer. So it's a great moment for him, a great way to finish the year for the 18-year-old Brighton player there. But William Saliba certainly didn't cover himself in much glory there, did he? With that defending, very very poor. So he says no, not again. Well, yeah, it is again, but as things or the own goal, whichever way you want to look at it, may well prove to be decisive in the end, because if we hadn't got that goal, suddenly now 3-2, we would be a bit nervy with 12 minutes to play. Brighton coming forward again. They've certainly had a good game in the second half, Brighton, you have to say. And I mean, again, Mituma's almost in. That was better from Tomiyasu, though. Just managed to recover his ground, got a tackle in. But every time Brighton come forward, we look a little bit shaky. We have done most of the night, to be fair. It hasn't been the greatest defensive performance from Arsenal. And we've conceded another goal. And yeah, you have to say Brighton probably deserve that for the way that they've kept going in the second half. It must have been difficult for them at half time to then concede the third goal right at the start of the second half. But fair play to Brighton. They've given it a good go and they've got 2 goals back. Yes, not great defending from Arsenal on both occasions, but anyway, well played to Brighton. Arsenal now, just again, like we had to do when it was 3-1, just try and get on the ball, keep possession, and just try to get control back again. Anyway, it's a throw on this near side to Brighton. El Neni wins that. Again, it's a goal conceded soon after making a substitution, isn't it? I don't know whether that's significant particularly, but we conceded the first goal just after making the 2 subs, and then we just brought El Neni on. Not that it was his fault for the goal. I'm not saying it was, but sometimes you make a substitution and it just disrupts the pattern of the flow of the team a little bit, doesn't it? And maybe that's what happened there. Again, and maybe we were not quite switched on. But really, that was just poor defending from William Saliba. I think we've got to put that down to that as much as anything else, really, I think. Anyway, Eddie Nketiah's done well on this near side. He's going towards a corner flag. A bit early for that, Eddie, but he does find Bukayo Saka, who's had a quiet second half, Saka. Don't remember mentioning his name too often. He's not really been involved much, has he, in this second half? Eddie done well, actually, there down this near side, but it is going to be a throw to Brighton again. And if they were to get a third goal, there's still over 10 minutes to play. Maybe the nerves would start kicking in. You know, we were talking earlier, wasn't we? Mentioning about when the pressure's on. Well, if Brighton were to get a third goal in the next 5 minutes or so, then there will be pressure on us, won't there, to see this game out. They are in position again at Brighton. Lewis Dunk, it was his ball that led to that second goal, wasn't it? His long ball over the top. Ferguson again involved. And again, Brighton coming forward over on that far side. Tariq Lamptey, it's a dangerous ball. It's a 6-yard box. Ramsdale doesn't really deal with it. Brighton are still in possession now, looking to try to get another goal. That was a great pullback there from Lamptey. Really good play from him. Another crossing towards the 6-yard box again. Poor defending from Arsenal. He's come to Matuma. What a frantic finish this might well be to this game. The cross comes in again from this near side. That one's overhit a little bit. And Samiento there was fouled, was he? No, he wasn't. He's still got the ball. He's done well there. Oh, he's tripped on the edge of the box. He's going to, in fact, the referee's going to book him for diving. It looked like Kieran Tierney had caught him there. But Sarmiento there, the Ecuadorian, has just been booked for diving, which a little bit strange. But anyway, let's just see a replay of that. Oh, yes, Kieran Tierney went to put his leg in, took his leg away. And, I mean, he was sort of falling down. The fact he did appeal for the free kick probably didn't help his cause, actually. But just before that, a really dangerous ball in. And again, it was it Ferguson in there again? And if he'd got a touch on that, it may well have been 4-3, sorry. But he didn't. Anyway, Sarmiento's just picked up a yellow card for diving. They're trying to win that free kick. But Brighton, again, have looked dangerous. And Tariq Lamptey, it was causing us some problems again. El Neni's now gone down inside the centre circle, holding his ankle. Well, his shin, actually. But he's going to be okay. He gets back to his feet again. We are now into the last 8 minutes of normal time. Terry says there, can't see why he went down there. No, I mean, I'm not really sure. I think he was anticipating, because Kieran Tierney went to stick his leg out, didn't he, and then pulled it away. He was maybe anticipating getting a foul. He wasn't in the penalty area, but I guess it would have been a decent enough place for a free kick, wouldn't it, I suppose? But anyway, he's been booked for diving. But Brighton are coming forward again, looking really dangerous. I've got a little bit of space over on that far side. This is really good play from Brighton, actually. It's Cisco who's done well over on that far side. Can he get the ball into the box, or is he going to try a shot? He's trying to get past Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka's having none of it. Takes the ball off him. Brilliant play from Xhaka. But actually, it wasn't a good ball out. Tariq Lamptey now inside the box. That's a decent ball in. Kieran Tierney's there. And Granit Xhaka then has to hook the ball clear, but it hasn't really gone very far, actually. And Martinelli now trying to get it under control just on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Plays it back to Aaron Ramsdale. It's not a great kick from Aaron Ramsdale, actually. And Brighton pick up the ball again. But Saka's done well this time, but couldn't get to the ball. And it is Colwill there. Wins it back, finds Lewis Dunk. And you have to say Brighton have played well in the second half. They really have. And they're coming forward again on this near side with Mitoma, the goal scorer of their first goal. And they're still in possession now with Colwill. He's got Lewis Dunk for company just next to him over on that far side. He's given the ball now to his captain. Now it's with Tariq Lamptey, who's been dangerous over on that far side. Cuts in Lamptey, a little square ball. Can Brighton get the ball in the box? They do. It's a decent cross. It was flicked on there, but not quite cleared by Arsenal. It's still into the Arsenal box. Now it's cleared away. I think that was William Saliba there with that clearance. And the ball's all the way back to goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. But Brighton are in possession again. They've certainly had a lot more possession in this second half. We're into the last 6 minutes. And barring a disaster, Arsenal are going to win this game and go 7 points clear. But it certainly hasn't been comfortable at all, has it, for Arsenal? Not in any way whatsoever. No. Pascal Gross now in possession for Brighton, plays it in at Tuma. Tuma gets it back, Gross. Now it's with Estepenian, plays it back again to Mitoma. Now Lewis Dunk is going to think about a shot. Is he from distance there? Lewis Dunk, he runs into Eddie Nketiah, but does manage to keep possession. Brighton still with the ball over to that far side. It's headed back into the penalty area. Now it's cleared away by William Saliba, and Brighton have certainly given this a big go in the second half, haven't they? Mitoma now again in possession. They're doing everything at a very fast pace. Brighton, can they get a third goal? A cross comes in from this near side. They're headed out. In fact, it's instead of heading out from Xhaka, it's gone behind for a corner. And Arsenal rocking a little bit with 5 minutes of normal time remaining. If Brighton were to score now, the nerves would really be jangling, wouldn't they? Can we deal with this corner? It's on the near side. It may well be Pascal Gross to take it again. He takes a lot of the set pieces for Brighton, doesn't he, the German? He's played in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Ramsdale's there this time. Comfortable catch from the Arsenal goalkeeper. He takes his time now. Got the ball in his hands, pushing the players up the pitch. I think he's going to go long with this. It probably makes sense. We haven't really had the ball in a Brighton half much in the last 20 minutes, actually. Just one counter-attack led to the fourth goal. Other than that, it's been pretty much non-stop Brighton pressure in Arsenal's half. But we've got the 2-goal advantage and very little time left for Brighton. 4 minutes of normal time. Plus stoppages. There'll be a little chunk of stoppages, won't there? There's been a lot of substitutions in this second half. You'd imagine it'd be 5 minutes. Brighton in again on this near side. Can Tomiyasu come across there? He does, but he only puts it out for a throw. He was a little bit slow off his heels then, Tomiyasu. He got there in the end, but he was under pressure a little bit there from Estepenian and Rob Holding. We are now bringing on Rob Holding in that typical substitution for these last 3.5 minutes. And it's Martin Ødegaard going off. Another decent performance from the captain tonight. Another goal as well for him this season. 7 goals for him this season. And he is now going off for these final few minutes. And Rob Holding is going to be coming on just to seal it. Rob Holding's job, isn't it? He's very good at that, isn't he? Winning those headers in the last few minutes of games when it's needed. And he is needed actually, because I say Brighton have had a lot of possession, a lot of pressure on us in these last 25 minutes or so since they pulled that first goal back. But it's looking as though time is definitely against them into the last 3 minutes of normal time. But they certainly haven't given this up, Brighton. They are playing well. Matuma, another good bit of play from him on this near side. He's fouled then, is he, by Saka? He is. It's going to be a free kick to Brighton, a chance to get the ball into the box. And Saka's already been booked, let's remember. He's not in danger of getting a second yellow card for that. Terry says there, holding coming on, Arteta master move again. Come on, Rory. Well, he tends to make these substitutions a lot, doesn't he? Especially away from home when we've got a lead to defend. He's done it a lot, hasn't he, the last year or so. And Rob Holding may well have some defending to do from this free kick. It's about 10 yards in from the near touchline, just in line with the Arsenal penalty area. A dangerous moment, this. Can Arsenal deal with this free kick? It's going to be put in by Gross. Not a great delivery, actually. It's cleared away at the near post by Eddie and Ketchum. Looks like it's going to go behind for a corner. No, it isn't. Saka manages to keep it in, but it's going to be a throw to Brighton. Terry says thought Saka was going to be sent off there. No, it wasn't a second yellow card. Or another chance from a 2-minute box. Oh, it's deflected. They have got a third goal. Jesus Christ, this has been an incredible second half. A second goal from Matuma. That one with a deflection. With 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining, it is now Brighton 3, Arsenal 4. What an incredible game. Incredible game this has been. Not what we really wanted or what we were hoping for. But there, Matuma just got a little bit of space. In fact, I think it was Rob Holding got the final touch. It was going in anyway. And suddenly, we have got a very nervy last few minutes here. That's a great action. I don't think it did get a deflection. I just think that's just a very, very good finish from Matuma. It went through. I think Rob Holding maybe just got a touch, which maybe just took it out of the reach there of Ramsdale. And Matoma's got himself 2 goals in this game. What a second half he's had. And, wow, Terry says there, no, 3-4. What's going on? Hope it ain't another Newcastle here. Well, yeah, in fact, they're checking this for a possible offside. I'm not quite sure who's offside. This goal might be disallowed, actually. It's disallowed. The goal's disallowed. He was offside, Matuma there. Wow, a centimetre offside. And it's going to be disallowed. Got a bit lucky there. I think this is going to be disallowed. I think it's going to be disallowed. We're just waiting for confirmation. If it is, then we've won this game. Yeah, it's been disallowed. It is still 4-2. We'll scrub that goal off. It was a well-taken goal, actually, by Matuma, but it isn't going to count. And Terry says, ruled offside. Thank you, God. Yeah, very, very tight that one was, wasn't it? It was like millimetres there. Very, very lucky. It's going to be 6 minutes of stoppage time. So that's what we would have had to have waited and held on for. But now, it's still not quite done, is it? As we saw there. Terry mentioned the Newcastle game. Of course, we were 4-0 up in that game against Newcastle when we drew 4-4, if you remember. That drama from a few years back. Must be, 10 years ago, that game? Maybe more than that, isn't it? Anyway, I think we may have got away with that one because that goal's been disallowed. It is still 4-2. We are now into the 6 minutes of stoppage time. But Matuma's in again on this near side. He's had a brilliant second half. Oh, he was clipped there. Is that going to be a penalty to Brighton, maybe? The ball's still inside the penalty area. We haven't really managed to get this away. We've got a corner now. I think Brighton are claiming a penalty there, was on Matuma. He has been brilliant, actually, for Brighton in this second half. If Brighton weren't losing this game, he would certainly be a contender for player of the match, wouldn't he? He's been unbelievable. The little Japanese forward is a corner to Brighton, which Gross takes towards the end of the 6-yard box. Header comes in at the far post, just over the top there from Lewis Dunk. So dangerous from those positions, isn't he? The Brighton captain, but he couldn't keep that header down. We have now played a minute and a half of the 6 of stoppage time. We are almost there, but it's certainly been a nervy last 20 minutes here today. We should have had this game wrapped up. We were 3-0 up early in the second half, and then since then it's been a bit of a struggle. Maybe we're a little bit unsure whether to sit with what we had. And Brighton, to be fair, have upped their game. They made some good substitutions. The substitutions have worked for them, and they've played well. And we've maybe been a little bit sloppy at times defensively. Brighton have scored 2 and had 1 disallowed as well. So and they're taking everything quick. They've got a throw in now on this near side. They certainly still haven't given this up. And you have to say fair play to Brighton, but we are now just over 3.5 minutes away from getting a victory, which would take us 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. But Brighton coming forward again with Lamptey down that far side. Is the ball going to be swung into the box? Is it? No, not quite. It might be now. Kieran Tierney's done well. Done very well, Kieran Tierney, and again brings the ball clear. Good defensive play there from Kieran Tierney. Now a long ball over the top, but there's no Arsenal player in at the Brighton half of the pitch. It's going to run all the way through to Robert Sanchez, and we are now 3.5 minutes away from the end of what has been a quite amazing game of football. You have to say it's been exciting, it's been nervy. There's been a lot of quality from Arsenal, especially in the first half, but you have to say there's been a lot of quality from Brighton in the second half as well. And they've certainly contributed massively to the entertainment tonight here on the South Coast. It is at Brighton 2, Arsenal 4. We are very, very close now. 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining for Arsenal to hold on to this 2-goal lead, which has looked pretty comfortable, but they're not quite so comfortable. Another ball into the box. Again, it's not great defending from Arsenal. It's going to run all the way through here to Espinini, and now it's back with the danger man, Mitoma, who's had a really, really good second half. You have to say Brighton still in possession with Colwill. Mitoma again. Brighton are finishing this game well, but it looks like it's going to be too late for them to actually salvage anything from this game in terms of points. But I'll certainly take a lot of this in terms of performance there. Oh, Gary Oldin grabbed the shirt there of that Brighton player inside the box, but he's played it back well too. Tariq Lamptey plays it square to Ferguson. Shot comes in. Good save from Ramsdale. Ferguson there looking for his second goal. Phil says there, we were at that one in Newcastle, grim indeed. Yes, that must have been, 10 years ago, was it? Maybe more. But yeah, I mean, this wouldn't have quite have been as bad as that because we were 4-0 up in that game. We was only 4-1 up here. It would have still been disastrous to have not won. But it looks as though we have got this game won now. We're into the last minute and a half of stoppage time. It's going to take a monumental effort from Brighton at this point, isn't it, to get something now? But they certainly deserve credit for the second half performance. Brighton, they have been quite brilliant, you have to say. And we were maybe a little bit stuck in that thing at 3-0 up, when you think, do you push on or do you try to stick with what you've got? And in the end, we're maybe a little bit unsure, and it gave Brighton a little bit of initiative. That first goal made a big difference, didn't it? But we're in possession now as we're coming into towards the final minute of stoppage time. But Brighton in possession again. They're coming forward with Pascal Gross. Is he going to try a shot from the edge of the penalty area? Drags the ball back. Saka was in there though. Rob Holding's across, and no nonsense from Holding, as you would expect. Boots the ball in to the Brighton half. Terry says at Sabresfield, grim ain't the word for it. No, it was a shot. That game was quite corrupt though, wasn't it? 2 really dodgy penalties for Newcastle. We had a goal disallowed at the end that would have won it. So I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't much fun, was it? Anyway, Brighton are ending this game well into the last 30 seconds. Are they going to get a third goal? No, they're not, because that pass there isn't going to quite fall there for Semiento, and it is going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. And surely that's that. We are going to go 7 points clear. Martin Odegaard's been given player of the match. Yeah, I mean, he played well in the first half in particular, didn't he? There's been a few good performances from Arsenal, mainly in that first half, you have to say. The second half has been a little bit more of a war of attrition, hasn't it? But we got the 2 goals that we've needed, and we did need them as well, because Brighton have come back well. But we have now played the 6 minutes of stoppage time. It's just whatever the referee is going to add on. In fact, I think he's going to blow his whistle now. Yes, he has blown his whistle. That is it. We are done. It has finished here at the Amex. Brighton 2, Arsenal 4. A very exciting game of football, you have to be said. And Arsenal have come away with a fully deserved victory. But Brighton certainly made it a lot more competitive in the second half than it looked like it was going to be for a long time. Arsenal took the lead just a minute played. It was Bukayo Saka. It was Martinelli's shot, got a couple of deflections, fell to Saka at the far post. He tucked it away. 1 minute played, 1-0. We were then in total control, and we got the second goal before half time. It was a corner from Martinelli. It wasn't really cleared. It fell to Martin Odegaard. His first time shot went into the far corner. May have got a slight deflection on the way. And that made it 2-0 at half time. we looked as though we'd sealed the points straight away. A minute of the second half gone, a good counter attack. Martinelli down that far side, Arsenal's left. His shot was spilled by Robert Sanchez, and Eddie Nketiah was there to tap home to make it 3-0. At that point, you thought, that's it, victory done. But Brighton made some changes, got back into it. It was a goal from Mitoma, a well-taken goal, made it 3-1. We were rocking for 5 or 10 minutes, but then we got a counter-attack. It was Martin Odegaard, put Martinelli in down that far side again. Did he get the final touch, or was it Tariq Lamptey's tackle? We don't know, but it didn't matter. The ball went past Robert Sanchez, made it 4-1, and that looked to be that. But then Brighton got another goal back. Poor defending from William Saliba. Young Evan Ferguson became the youngest ever Premier League goal scorer to make it 4-2. And then Mitoma had the ball in the net again with 5 minutes to play. A great goal from him. Looked like it made it 4-3 with 5 minutes to play. But that goal was disallowed for a very, very marginal offside decision. And in the end, Brighton wasn't able to find a way back. And it's finished here at the Amex. A very eventful game, an exciting game. Lots of drama, lots of quality from both teams. Exciting game of football. It's finished here at the Amex. Brighton at 2, Arsenal 4. Wow. What a night, and what a way for Arsenal to start 2023. 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Wow, incredible, incredible stuff. Terry says there, yes, thank God it's a happy new year. Yes, it is a very happy new year for Arsenal. We've taken advantage today. The teams around us dropping points. Newcastle drawing, Manchester City drawing, and we have just got a victory. We are now 7 points clear, and suddenly we can start dreaming of the league title. You know, we can start dreaming about it. Will it happen? We don't know. Terry says, hats off to Brighton for not giving up. Let's hope we're a lot better on Tuesday. Yeah, I think we'll have to be a lot better than we were in the second half today on Tuesday, or we could struggle against a very, very good Newcastle team. But we played well in the first half today, and in the end, that's certainly what won us that game, that first half performance. Phil says there, Brighton have certainly made us earn the points. Yeah, they have. The second half, they were brilliant, Brighton. They were a very, very good side, and you can see why they're doing so well in the league. You know, in the top half of the table, very good side. But that first half from Arsenal was what was key. They're going in 2-0 up. I think gave us the platform to end up getting that victory. But yeah, no, you got to give Brighton credit. They did make us work for them points. And yes, a very, very tricky game, but we got the job done. And that's the most important thing, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's what matters. 3 points, and we've got it. Brighton 2, Arsenal 4. The final game in the Premier League of 2023. If you remember, we start of 2022. Sorry, if you remember, we started the year with that fantastic first half performance against Manchester City. Couldn't get the result, could we? Today, a fantastic first half performance at Brighton, and we have got the result in the end. Although we had to, hang in there a bit, and then we fight at the end to seal that win. But yeah, what a good game of football that was, first and foremost. That's the first thing to say. And just brilliant stuff. So yeah, happy new year to Arsenal. We are 7 points clear at the top of the table. So brilliant stuff. Anyway, thank you very much for all you guys for watching the show tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like before you go. Really does help the channel to grow. If you are new and you want to consider subscribing, please do so as well. We have got some great stuff coming up for you on Monday, 2 p.m. on Bank Holiday Monday. We have got Billy from the Toon Review coming on, an Arsenal versus Newcastle opposition view, looking ahead to that big game on Tuesday, getting a Newcastle perspective. They're flying high, of course, in third place. Then Monday evening, 8 o'clock, the Arsenal Review. Got some great guests joining us, looking back on these 2 games that we've played since the return, and looking ahead to Newcastle, looking ahead to Oxford as well, and just a brief kind of summary of 2022 as well. That's 8 o'clock on Monday. Then Tuesday, of course, we're back to Watchalong, Arsenal versus Newcastle. We will be live about 7:45 for the 8 o'clock kickoff, of course. So please join us for that as well as we move into the new year. A lot of great stuff to come on the channel, so please join us for all of that. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. So that is all that coming up then for you. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage today. It was certainly an eventful game, wasn't it? Which we did enjoy. So yeah, join us again on Monday. 2 big shows for you. So please stay tuned for that. Terry says there, let's hope Arsenal bring in a couple of players in January, and don't think 7 clear. Don't think anyone to come in like last. No, exactly. Yeah, I think it's important that we do bring some players in. I'm sure we will. We have to, don't we? We have to, surely, in the position that we're in. We can't afford to sit back and do nothing, because you can guarantee Newcastle will be buying, City will probably be buying. We have to be active and get the right players. We need a striker. There's no doubt about that. We need 2 or 3 others to bolster this squad. And if we do, maybe the title's on. We'll have to see. Anyway, first of all, I want to, before we end, I just want to say sort of thanks to everybody for your support of the channel in 2022. It's been a year of big growth, hasn't it, here on over and over and over again. We reached 1,000 subscribers this year. We've got ourselves monetized this year, and we couldn't have done that without the great support that you've all given us. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, it's been a good year on the channel. It's been a decent year for Arsenal in the end, but still a lot of work to do this season, isn't there? So let's see what happens. Phil says there, we are definitely in a challenge for the title. We're ruffling a lot of feathers. Yeah, we are. And I think we are in a challenge for the title now. You know, I don't think there's any doubt. We're 7 points clear. And yeah, we're definitely in with a shout. So let's hope January is a good January for us. And if it is, who knows? Who knows where we might end up? But yeah, it's been a brilliant 2022 on the channel. It's been a brilliant 2022 for Arsenal. The Arsenal women are basically joint top of the WSL. We are 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Great stuff. Phil says there, who would have thought we'd be at the top of the table looking strong? Man, I know it's incredible, really, isn't it? I still can't quite believe it. And I'm almost still anticipating the collapse, if you like. Each game we play and we keep winning, so it's not happening, but I'm almost anticipating that's what's going to happen at some point. But I keep being wrong, and I hope I continue to be wrong. And let's see what happens. But yeah, so far so good. Terry says, thank you, Richard, and stepmom Mrs. B. Have a happy new year and all in the chat. Indeed, and yourself, mate. I say thank you particularly for your support all the way through on the channel and this year as well. It's been great to have you on board. Your comments every show virtually. It's great to see you again, and all the best to you and your family and everybody else, all the viewers of the channel, everyone who's watched this year, all our subscribers, everybody who's been involved, all our other presenters as well that have brought us some great shows this year. A happy new year to everyone. Phil says very happy new year to all, and to you, mate, as well, you and your family. Hope you have a good one. Hope 2023 is a good year for you. And let's see, it could be a good year for Arsenal, couldn't it? Let's be honest, but we'll see what happens. 7 points clear. Here we are, 7 points clear. So there you go, brilliant stuff. So yes, thanks everyone for watching tonight. It has finished Brighton 2, Arsenal 4. What a game. Great stuff. 7 points clear at the top of the table. It's fun, isn't it? It's quite good fun, all this. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you again on Monday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Join us for that with a Billy from the Toon Review. That's going to be a great show. Please join us for that. It's going to be good. And then I'll say Monday night, the review. And then Tuesday night, the big game at the Emirates. Arsenal, the leaders against third place Newcastle. What a game that's going to be as well. We thought tonight was exciting and tense. I'm sure that's going to be just as good against one of the informed teams in the league. So it's going to be fun, isn't it? So those coming up. Please like, share and subscribe. I will see you on Monday. Have a great new year, everyone. Whatever you're doing tonight, enjoy, stay safe, and we will see you in 2023. Come on, you guys. 7 points clear. This is fun, isn't it? Happy New Year, guys. Take it easy. Speak to you soon. Real Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That's easy.